Hello, everyone. It's us again. It's a Wednesday, and this is episode 67. And welcome, Delboy.
Hello.
Welcome. Yeah, Reet Grand, lad. Reet Grand. So, as we always say, hey, what's I been watching this week, lad?
Oh, you know what? I've watched actually. I want to know first of all, though, whether you liked the um the 70s film that I sent you yesterday. Just answer that quickly, and you
Oh,
can talk
yes.
about that.
Oh, yeah, I could talk about that. Plenty to
Oh,
talk
all
about.
right. So I won't
Yeah.
go anymore.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of films that have been on telly, and I found this little channel. I don't know if it's Freeview or anything, but I watched over the last couple of days a couple of old science fiction films that I haven't thought about in a long time. One of them was The Explorers, which is about these kids that build a spaceship, and they basically it's from the 80s. And they go off into space at the end. I won't ruin it for you. The other one I think most people will know, which is Batteries Not Included,
Oh,
which is about the knocking down of an old building where old codgers are sort of like there, and these alien robots sort of come along and sort of like befriend them and try and stop the demolition of a building.
Right. Yeah.
I really enjoyed those.
Yeah.
So that was good. I'm just gonna turn the background off because there's a couple of things that have arrived.
Good.
Let me see if I can turn this off because I've forgotten already how to do it. There it is. Right. So I've got to do a big shout out to my friend Denny because he told me about this man in a suitcase that was from Network.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you can see.
Is that's a new release? Is it this is a new release?
It was a Blu-ray for 25 quid. The whole man in a suitcase.
Wow, I've got it, but only on DVD. Yeah.
So £25 and all of the seasons.
Was that on a sale then? That was a sale.
Well, he told me that he sent you the link, I think.
Yeah, I think he did. He did send me the link, I'm sure.
And I think you said
I probably couldn't afford it. And I thought I'd stick with
25 quid Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And there's a couple here. There's a film that I could only just about remember. And again, it was a Denny. Oh, yeah, I remember that. And I went, oh, well, I'm going to get it then. That was The Stuff.
Oh,
about this yogurt stuff that sort of like came from another planet that starts taking
stuff.
the more I talk about it, the more I go, do you know what? That's as bad. There's a badder synopsis as That's My Dog TV game show.
Yeah,
which we just done a little joke about.
Yeah, TV game shows. Yeah,
the stuff. I don't know if I showed last week the Steelbook to Final Destination, but that turned up.
Oh, beautiful!
That's showing that.
Brilliant. Yeah, get that.
Yeah, great. Really do like that. It's really nice.
It is.
You know. Another one that I haven't seen and I'm looking forward to is a film called Nobody.
Oh, yeah. I have seen that quite a while ago, but I've forgotten about it. Yeah.
Now, here's a classic that I definitely will watch this weekend, and that's To Catch a Thief.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is a classic.
You know, I don't think you can go wrong with the old classics, can you?
I bet that looks pretty good.
Yeah, because you know it's done in that it's done in that CinemaScope or Technicolor or whatever it is. Another copy I've got now of Cobra, and it's the Arrow edition. Right, I must have ordered that on a whim because I've got the Steelbook, and this is the Arrow restoration. Don't know whether there's a difference between the two. They are two different restorations.
Yeah.
And of course, Zombie Flesh Eaters, which I know a lot of people have been doing comparisons over the internet. I haven't watched those because I wanted to see it myself before I got into that. And I went to the pictures and saw the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Morning, which I gave a solid 8. I do look at things though that it's a comic book, you know, it's a fantasy comic book. You don't look at things in the real world, like, because I mean, after I'd seen it, I thought now I can start looking at YouTube and see what people have been saying about it, right? Because I've avoided all of that. And there were so many people that were saying, how can you take off a spaceship from in the middle of New York? And how does the thing grow a beard? And there was another one that really annoyed me, actually. It said, I can forgive everything, but the Fantastic Four fly up to Galactus's ship. They park just outside it, and Galactus does nothing about it. He just lets them park while they go onto his ship free willy-nilly, right? This bloke can destroy worlds. What the hell's going on with this, right?
Oh, dear.
And it's obvious people that sort of like don't read a lot of fantasy, right? Because if you read a lot of fantasy, you'll know that you can get away with murder.
You can do anything. You can do anything.
I mean, Doctor Who has had the Earth move to a totally different part of the universe. I've done it, a couple of times. I think at least once. I know that, right? And yet, part of the story has got a little bit to do with that, right? But A, it didn't happen, and B, it never turned around and said that there wouldn't be a moon there that would ellipse around the Earth if they did do it, right? So there's one thing, right? The other thing is, have you ever actually been at your workstation and a fly has been buzzing around your face, right? While you're working, right? That is what the Fantastic Four were to Galactus when they flew up to his spaceship, right? They are nothing. They are less than nothing. They are fleas.
Yeah.
He is not concerned about them. He's not worried about them. They can do absolutely nothing to him. So why is he going to blow up this spaceship or something that's heading towards them when they are no threat?
Yeah.
Right. So even without knowing science fiction, I'm going, you okay this picture, but you've just basically done a 5-minute rant about why this FF ship didn't get blown up when it headed towards this omnipresent God type thing, right? They are gnats to him. If they were a threat, he would have basically have done something about it.
Yeah.
But they are nothing.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. It's to prove that Galactus does not even see them. Because they are nothing to him.
Yeah.
So eat this planet. That's it. So how they could have actually have filmed it any different to show that Galactus just didn't give a shit, I don't know. But less said about that. It's a good blast.
Yeah.
It's an entertaining film. If you go in there with just to go in there looking at the real stylized look, because it's the 60s look, right? Forget about there's a couple of characters that are changed to women or whatever it is, because the other thing is it's on a totally different universe. So it's the same story, but told differently, and it's a totally different universe. Which, by the way, the universe it's in is Jack Kirby's birthday. Just so you know, right? Because they call it Earth 818 or something like that.
Yeah.
If you actually work out how they got the numbering system and you worked it out, that would be Jack Kirby's birthday, and he drew the Fantastic Four. Right? There's all of these Easter eggs, by the way. In it.
Yeah.
If you go in just going to be watching an entertaining film, then you're going to enjoy it. If you're going to go in there hating already, or having or looking forward to find any little pothole or brick hole in it, then basically you'll find lots. Because it's a comic book, guys. It's a comic book turned into a film. It's an film. There really is, the land that time forgot, by the way. There's no dinosaurs under the planet. Honestly, there is none. Right? It is not a documentary.
No, it's a piece of fantasy.
Right?
Yeah.
I think if you watch 10 million years BC with Raquel Welch, even the bikini is not authentic, right? We did not live with dinosaurs, right? They sort of like died.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we sort of came around. I just want to give a thing that it's a story, an entertaining story.
Yes.
It's a story. All right. That's all I've got to say about it, because if people don't like it, I understand it. It's not a problem. I've got no problem with people saying, nah, not for me. But it's when they start going, oh, I hated it because the thing grew a beard and he's made out of rocks. Yeah, he's made out of rocks. How does he breathe? How does he look? Is rocks translucent all of a sudden? Is that how he gets? If you're going to start nitpicking and all of this sort of stuff, I mean, so many people can just come back and say, have you ever seen weeds growing through cravey paving? Right. Well, there you are. Look, that beard is grown through his cracks of his cravey paving face. Right. It's not really a beard, it's weeds, really, but he doesn't let them grow that big or something. You know what I mean? It's like you've just got to just turn around and say it's entertaining. I mentioned to you, didn't I? I said Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is not set in England, but you know what I mean. There's no dragons. You know, it's not set just before King Arthur and the Round Table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, oh yeah, Game of Thrones. It's set before Robin Hood, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's not. It's a fantasy.
Or perhaps it's set in Wales.
Oh yes, set in Wales. Yeah.
Yeah, the Welsh dragon.
Yeah. You know. Didn't you see the White Cliffs of Dover? Look in that shot, look over there. Look. Oh, Jesus Christ, man! It's a game. It's a bloody TV thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I dare say I did watch some other stuff, but those were the entertaining ones that sort of ring a bell. I did see the end of. I still forget what it's called. Is it The Apprentice? No, what's it called?
Which one?
That one where he wants to kill his people that killed his wife.
Oh, is that The Amateur?
See, I can't get around it. It's The Amateur. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. There's something in my brain that goes, oh, I did watch one other thing. It was a totally Korean or Chinese film called The Prosecutor.
Oh.
Enjoyed that. But that was from last year, I think, 2024.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, I like that. The Prosecutor.
Good.
Yes. That's it. I ain't going to say no more other than guess why I watched The Explorers and Batteries Not Included. Answers on a postcard. Send it to Ian Hill, The Ramblings, Birmingham B1 2JP.
Yeah.
And if you want to know where that's going to end up, you'll probably find that his was might get a postcard at some point. But there we are. Over to you.
Right. What have I watched this week? Now, I'll tell you what. I'll talk. You sent me two films. Download.
Believe it or not, the 70s film that you're just about to talk about was on Rewind TV at 11 o'clock at night, and I went, "Oh my God, look who's in this!"
Yeah.
And I went, right, I'm sending that to him.
Yeah, quite right. So it's called, the film that we're on about is Cold Sweat from 1970. And it's got Charles Bronson and James Mason. And I'm a big James Mason fan. And they're both really good. Charles Bronson is Charles Bronson. With me, it doesn't matter. He's not going to win any master classes in acting, but he's always enjoyable. It doesn't matter. Charles Bronson's Charles Bronson, so he's just enjoyable what he does. He's a good guy in this, of course. And James Mason is playing an American sort of gangster mobster, and he's there with his American accent, and enjoyable as well with it. It's one of those tales where somebody's come out of prison. It's the Charles Bronson character, and he wants to go straight. He's got his family. He's got Jill Ireland who becomes his wife, and they might even have already been married then, and they've got a little girl, of course. So he's going to be the family man. But of course, when people have come in that have been inside, they come out, and there's always people who perhaps want a bit more from them. Other gangster kind of people who think, well, you're not going straight, lad. You've got more work to do for us. And that's what James Mason comes along. And I won't go deep into the story, but it was very entertaining. It kept you going. You get like an hostage situation, but the hostage situation is interesting because James Mason has been shot and he's trying to keep awake and alive. Blood's spurting out of his stomach, and he's only got about an hour to live. And so they have to go and get a doctor. We've got that.
Yeah, he did. He looked a bit grey, didn't he?
Yeah, he does. But really, it's just very entertaining. It's one of those films that you don't have to switch your brain off, just enjoy it. And some good performances all around, just very entertaining. So that was from 1970.
I'll tell you what, the one thing about it is, it definitely looked like it was a co-production with something like Mexico or something. You know?
Yes. Yeah, actually, I think in the credits it could well have been a Spanish Italian.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It was one of those things where you go,
a lot were doing those. You know, Hollywood wasn't fine.
I thought to myself when I was looking at this, there's absolutely no way that this is not a co-production.
Yeah.
The film footage, the actual film stock was very subpar, and
there was stock. There was some even stock footage in there that they'd bunged it. Yeah, you think, oh, that's stock footage. So they put all sorts obviously on a quite cheap budget. They probably spent all the money on just getting them in the film, and they probably think, oh, easy payday. So they took it. But for all its limitations, it's something that you can just sit and enjoy. And I enjoyed it. It was well done for what it was. And then a film that you sent me was 28 Years Later, which is
that's because everybody was talking about it, and I thought, well, you might have something to say about it.
Which is this year's film.
Yeah.
2025. So what do I think of it? I think it's very enjoyable. Unfortunately, do you know when you get spoilers, I'd heard some spoilers, and it just slightly ruined it just a little bit for me. But that's why sometimes you really need to avoid people doing it. I was waiting for certain moments. The ending of the film, really, because the ending of the film, I knew what was going to come. If I hadn't known that, I think it would have been an even bigger shock, and you'd have been going, huh? What?
Yeah.
It still is like that. It still is a bit of, huh? What? What's going on? I'm not going to say it because anybody who hasn't seen it, it would totally, I think it spoils it a bit.
The reason I sent it, I mean, obviously I bought it. I bought it on a steelbook when it comes out.
It's a very good.
I didn't get to see it at the pictures, but I've seen obviously, they've shown when that film was being shown at the cinema, they were showing 28 days later and 28 weeks. They were showing it on TV, left, right, and center. You couldn't bloody move without seeing it for the 5th time that week. And everybody was talking about how it was filmed on camera, like mobile phones or something, and all of this sort of stuff. And I just thought, well, I'll send it to you because then you've got something new to talk about. If you had nothing to talk about this week, at least you had a new film that everybody's been sort of like chatting about in the side menu.
If it was filmed on a mobile phone, I didn't know any difference. I didn't know that. I didn't.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that I've heard so many people saying this, that, and the other, and I can't remember all of the stories.
Yeah, well, I never thought about it like that. It was well filmed. I mean, Danny Boyle is a good director.
Yeah,
and the special effects were excellent. All, I think, practical special effects. There may have been a bit of CGI mixed in, but generally, it's all practical special effects. I thought the cast was good. They were all good. The child actor who plays the boy, he was good. His mum, she was excellent in it. They were all a great cast, and it has a really good atmosphere. You're with it all the way. You kind of wanting them, to succeed. You're with them, and there's lots of incidents and things happening all the time.
Yeah.
You can imagine an apocalyptic landscape.
Yeah,
and there's some great scenes in it.
That's why I'm looking forward to it, and it's one of those ones where I'm gonna sit down and watch that this weekend.
Good. I'm not going to say much more.
It's not that long a film. It's not that long a film,
Yeah.
so I think I'll be able
It's something you get into it straight away. Which is
it's
good.
almost like a long episode of the
I kept thinking of The Walking Dead as well. I was thinking about that. The TV.
Yeah, it's about 1.5 episodes long of The Walking Dead or something.
Yeah,
I think
it's
like
got
that.
all
You'll be
that.
all right.
But with a British stance to it. But yeah, the ending is controversial to some people, and I can see why. But I don't want to discuss it anymore because it would spoil it. But
because it's still out there. It's still out there, and a lot of people are buying it on physical media without going to the pictures because they never got around to it.
Exactly. But I'm interested in what people think. Is it a letdown, the ending, or is it just totally left field and just what? Yeah, what's happened there? Anyhow, so those are the two that I watched. That you sent me as downloads. Then the other one, we'll talk about it now as well because I loved it.
Oh, sorry, yeah, we're going to Tony York corner now. Yeah.
No, I bought this myself.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah. And you mentioned it on your blog as well. This is The Three Fugitives, and you originally sent me a download of it.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I loved it so much. I thought, I'll go and have a look, see if I can get it on DVD. And for a couple of quid, I got this. Yeah. And it's fantastic. It's a film that you can watch and watch. Okay, I know what some people might say. Oh, it's a bit sentimental. Oh dear. Yeah. It's a bit, who cares? Who gives a F about it? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's a bit sentimental or what have you, and got a feel-good factor. So what? So bloody what? Sometimes we need those kind of things in life. You sometimes need to think that there are, have this kind of thing. And I thought it was, and for me, I said that for me, it's Nick Nolte's best performance. I think he's just steals the film, really. But even though they're all good together, Martin Short's excellent as well, and the child actress, little girl, is very good as well. But it all comes together beautifully. It just works. And the ending, I love the way it ended as well, because you thought, oh, here we go again. And it's got that, and you kind of don't want it to end. I didn't. I was enjoying it so much. You just think, oh, let's go into something else happen. And
if you ever watch McMahon movies, he's actually done a community question of films that are in your collection that have never had a Blu-ray release in this country.
This is one.
There's one.
I answered it actually. I did it in his comments. I had things that I could remember. You can imagine the other film that I publicized was Cromwell, 1970. And Spring and Port Wine, James Mason, of course. The two that I'm always going on about. But anyhow, that is anybody who hasn't seen this film, I think you really enjoy it. Absolutely.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
And let's see what else. Yeah. Now you can do oh no, you can't actually. I bought this myself for a couple of quid, but it is a Tony York kind of film.
Yeah.
Desert Rats.
Yeah. A Tony York delivery. Go on.
But I bought this again. I saw it on, I think, World of Books, a couple of quid. It's got Richard Burton, James Mason, and Robert Newton. So you might see a theme with James Mason popping up again.
Is this a drinking game? Because I'm a bit snorely.
But actually, to be fair, James Mason plays Rommel, but you want more of him. They don't. I suppose it's not really a massive film about Rommel. He plays it so well, but it's all about the English side, obviously, and Richard Burton. And Richard Burton's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I mean, he's such a good actor. This is an early film as well. I don't know. Oh, this is 1953. I was just looking. So it's not that, it's just into the 50s, 53. And Richard Burton is already showing what a great actor he was, absolutely fantastic. If you like your war films, I think this one you'd love. It's one I remember my dad as well talking about him and his war films. So that's it. Oh, just one more, and we're following Richard Burton theme again. Villain.
Yeah.
Villain is a British gangster film. Really, it's now. I think the other obvious British gangster film of this period is Get Carter. I think Get Carter is a better film than this, but this is still a good film.
I think Get Carter came out after, actually.
Right. This is what did I say? Yeah, 1971. It might. It's a very similar year. I'm sure.
Very, very close, but I think you'll find Villain might have just picked it.
But if you're looking for British gangster films, you would definitely rate this in there. I think we'd Get Carter and what other British gangster films? The Long Good Friday as well.
Yeah,
The Long Good Friday. You put it up there with all those. But this one, Richard Burton's excellent in this. He plays a real heavy gangster, and Ian McShane is in this as well.
Yeah.
It's just a really good film of that period, and
Muckman Movies actually talked about it a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? Where he said he was reading his book about Richard Burton and his drinking, and apparently he was pretty much well on his pissed up stage. And I said, he looked, and I said the end scene of this film where it's near the docks.
Yeah,
he did look like he was actually, his hair looked like it was soaking wet. It's either they poured a bucket of water over him or
also I think it was meant to be longer, that last scene. It all ends a bit quickly. I don't know what happened. I think they could even have run out of money. They could have just, I don't know, they had to just stop it, which is a shame because the build up is quite good, and then it ends.
But the whole point is that you're supposed to live in fear of him.
Yes.
And then at the end,
he's
there's no way that you could live in fear of him, because look where he is. Look how many people have witnessed what he's done. There's absolutely no way. He can do anything. So.
But I recommend anybody.
In other words, he could have been caught entrapment.
Anybody who hasn't seen it, it's well worth seeing. But I say, if you like Get Carter, you like this one.
That's a Tony York special, is it?
No.
World of Books or something.
Let's get. Oh, no, actually, I'm not showing any Tony York specials this week because that one I got. Three Fugitives I got this one myself.
Was it World of Books then or something? Magpie or something?
Yes, World of Books. No, this one wasn't. This one I saw on a sale. I've had it quite a while.
Okay.
And I suddenly thought, I should watch it again.
I'm gonna say, because it looked like it was in good condition.
It is in very good condition. It's even a slipcover.
Blu-ray.
But I picked it up cheap. I think I must have got it on a sale. But I've seen it does get shown on TV a bit. This, and I had seen it before.
Of course, you can always pick up films cheap if you go along to HMV and all you do is you basically take stuff off the shelf, stick it under your coat, and walk out. I mean, you'll pick up bargains every day. Pick up bargains every day like that. You can even do 2 for 1. You know, I'll have that one as well.
Yeah, I like that one. So let's see. I think that's all the films this week. Yeah, that's all the films I've watched.
So have you worked out what it was between Explorers and Batteries Not Included?
What was it then?
Jerry Goldsmith did the score.
Oh, no, you put it again. Oh no. Anyhow, I've fallen into that trap again. I fall into that trap, don't I? Oh dear.
You didn't believe me about That's My Dog either.
Oh yeah. Just before we were we came on, we were talking about game shows, and he said, Delboy, that there's this game show which for dogs, and it's on early in the morning, and I thought, wow, there's some really funny game shows. Can any of you think of any strange game shows? This one's about dogs. And is there anything else you can think of? Weird game shows. If you got any ideas, put them in comments. And
let's have a little look. See if we can do something here. Hang on.
Yeah.
I do that.
Strange shows.
Hang on. Just to prove it. Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will work. Share screen. There we go. So I should be now presenting the website for game shows. That's My Dog. And it says here, game show that tries to determine whose dog is best. Well, it's original. In fact, it was really a quiz show for the dogs themselves, as they were announced as the contestants at the top of the show. Today we have Cindy, a crossbreed from Hungary, and Vicky, a miniature poodle from the Isle of Wight. The dogs' names would be on the front of the podium too, rather than the family surname, although later series featured both the family and the dog's name. Rounds include the obligatory dog assault course, because that's what dogs do. There was a maze, the idea of which was the dog had to find their way out of being sidetracked by the food that's in the middle. The program's vet, Eddie Staten of CC Guard, asked the teams medical questions about their pets, and kennel maid hostess Louise Burton brought on a dog each week that belonged to a famous celebrity who had to be identified from clues. The winning team got a chance to win the money jackpot called the Dog Bonus. Bonus.
No.
Yeah, by trying to get their dog to pick a predetermined object, purse, handkerchief, or some such, that their owner had handled beforehand. This was a show that was on from 1984 to 1988 for 57
it lasted that long.
And 5 seasons.
Oh dear,
5 seasons.
Wow. Oh dear. Wow.
So that's all I can say. Now apparently I'm presenting. I think I can turn it off. Stop screen. There we go. So we should be back to normal now.
Right. Okay. Right. So we'll get on with comments then. And then we've got Si saying, "Evening, gang," and a special hello to Mrs. Dell.
I'll pass that on. In fact, normally I would. In fact, actually, I will just take 2 minutes just to make sure my mum's all right. My sister will be here at 9 o'clock, but I must admit, 45 minutes. I haven't actually.
Okay. You give it a check out.
I'll be about 3 minutes.
Okay. Right. So let's get on with the comments, and then we've got Si saying, "I've been to see Fantastic Four twice now. Wow, twice. It's probably my third favorite non-Avengers MCU movie, behind Winter Soldier, great film, and Civil War. Also, as one of the best action sequences in the MCU, in my honest opinion. Well, we was talking about that at the beginning. Delboy was, well, he'd been to see it, and he's very enthusiastic about it, which I think is great to see because the Marvel universe has had such a lot of flack, really, because people have gone overboard. I've had enough with it, and for him to produce a film that is really good again, is actually fantastic. It really is, and I can understand people have had enough of some of the dross that they were producing. They produced a lot of dross, which was boring people to death. And I can understand people say, "Oh man, enough of that rubbish! I'm not watching that." Buy it. So to have something that's actually good is great. And of course, Delboy talked about it with the comics. People are a bit too critical out there, as we sort of said. It's a film, and it doesn't matter. You can do anything in a film, and you should just sit back and enjoy it. And for me, it's I'm really pleased that this has turned out to be a good film, because I was fed up with it. It's not been so good at all. They've produced so many bad ones, recently. That was it, Madam Web, the Ant-Man one that went downhill. I really didn't like that one. On all these multiverse stuff. And the fact that is not in this multiverse business, as far as I know, is great. I think it's set in 60s, isn't it? This one, which again is a great period to be doing. So I know Delboy is being enthusiastic because I think he went to see it. So I think I'm really pleased about that we've actually got something good from them. I think, patience was getting a bit thin. I think people just weren't interested in anymore, and that still could happen again. We'll have to see. It's something positive for a change, which I like, because everybody's been so down about all this and happening. And therefore, it's a good thing that we've got something that people can say, "Hey, this is good." I like that. I like that, the fact that we can be positive. So that's just what I think. It's good to see people being positive. And I know you talked about it. Have you anything else to add about it from what you said at the beginning?
Yeah. Why is it that Cy Robson went and saw Superman 3 times and he only went and saw Fantastic Four twice, the bastard? Right? If that isn't favoritism, I don't know what is. Little shit. Go, you shouldn't be on here now. Go to the bloody cinema right now, watch it one more time, come back, we'll still be here. We'll still be chatting.
We'll still be here.
No, seriously. So I think Cy's one of those people. I think he's a little bit like us. It's all about the film. It's all about being entertaining. It's not about picking something to fault to the point where there's just a carcass left on the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all want films to succeed. If you want film to succeed, then basically ridicule a film for ridicule, because it needs to be ridiculed. It needs to be sounded out. It's absolutely against the core of everything, right? But don't ridicule something that's fantasy based, make believe, all of that sort of stuff. You don't. I mean, Disney, as much money as they've possibly got, haven't got that much money that they want to go out of business. And there's a lot riding on this film, according to from what I've heard, saying that basically this is Kevin Feige's last chance saloon after so many misses over the last good 14 or so films, and this is supposed to be getting them back on track. I looked at it and I went, you know what? Entertaining. That's all I can say about it. I must admit, I was at a younger part of my life when I was watching the Avengers Endgame, and I was watching Iron Man 1 and watching the very first Thor film and Captain America Winter Soldiers, all which were, everybody was just turning around and saying Marvel can do no wrong. My God, look at this. And of course, yes, we do have burnout. Too many comic book stuff. And I will turn around and say, I think there's too much comic book stuff. All right. We do need some originality. We do need some indie films that'll cost a pittance, that'll bring in millions and millions and millions, so that we can actually have the next big budget film that's equally going to be good, right? Rather than spending millions and finding it's a piece of shit, right? I mean, they absolutely put, and quite rightly, Borderlands through the ringer. I mean, it's a pretty bad film, right? Borderlands. It cost an absolute fortune. It was in pre-production for about 2.5 years.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It must have lost that studio so much money that I'm surprised that they're still around to make another one. Another film. So we've got to help a company like that and say, do you know what? You put your faith in this film. It did badly. Let's help you make a good one so that you've got some money back so you can continue to make good films. That's what we should be doing. Not, I hope you all go out of business and this is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that
we don't want people to fail. We don't want people to fail.
Yeah. But it almost seems like that's what's going on. The thing that I like a little bit that's going on at the moment is the fights that go on between DC and Marvel, where they turn around and say, our film's doing better than yours because we got 10 million more than our opening weekend than you got in your opening weekend.
We're always going to get that.
Yeah. I look at it like this and go, do you know what? The worst thing that all of the distributors could have done was put 3 blockbuster films on within 4 weeks of each other. Nobody's got no money.
No.
The reason that Man of Steel and Superman have got very similar opening weekends, drawing based on inflation and all of that sort of stuff, is we've got bugger all money. We can't afford 15 quid for a ticket to the cinema and a bag of popcorn and a drink and have 2.5 kiddies in bloody tow and coming away out of 60 quid, coming away with a tenner maybe that you might have to get a taxi home in or something, right? We ain't, and then to have 3 of them in the same month, that's who in their right mind's got nearly 200 quid to spend on going to the cinema that month? There should have been 3-week gaps between these films. The Fantastic Four came out right at the end, really, of this month, and people are paid monthly. There might be so many people now that are waiting. I can't wait until Thursday, Friday the 1st, because that's when I'm paid and I can go this weekend to go and watch it. Because, there's the single mums and all sorts of stuff that would love to take their kiddies, go and see bloody Superman, and are having to wait until the dole check comes through or the family allowance or whatever. It's ridiculous. So we are in a totally different situation. We are after COVID. There's before COVID, we had some money. After COVID, we're all trying to keep hold of our jobs, right? 2 different sides of the hat, and therefore keep having that money set aside for you to watch it, to go to the cinema. There aren't many that before this month. There were very few months where you needed to go. That people would go to the pictures 3 times in the same month. It blew me away a little bit when I went to see the Fantastic Four, and I went, how much? Because I haven't been for a while. My card ran out. The monthly card that I was given free for having a E contract or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I handed over 20 quid, and I'll tell you what, I didn't get much change.
No.
And when they turned around and said food's over there, and I said, yeah, it can stay over there.
Yeah.
Jesus, I've got to walk into the cinema now with no bloody drink, you bastards. I'm off. I went straight into the cinema, watched it, came out parched. Oh, I want a drink. Jesus, I want a drink.
There is something I'd just like to ask you. It's Star Trek connected. Now, we know that we're getting the Strange New Worlds is going on for 5 lots, which again is another prequel series. Well, I have heard they're thinking of doing another prequel series, and
is that the Academy?
That is going to be on Kirk. They're going to do Kirk and the period before the original series, because apparently it was on before the original series starts. He was 5 years supposedly. In the Enterprise. So they're going to do that, which, why can't Star Trek now do more into the future? Why can't we have more future ones?
I thought
Why is
one.
everything got to be retro, looking back prequel stuff? But the thing is, my other rant is that I don't like this Captain Kirk. I don't think he's very good, the actor.
Who's in this new production? Name an actress or an actor.
Well, it's all linked with the TV series. It's going to be the bloke who, in Strange New Worlds. I don't know the actor. I don't even know the actor.
Yeah, Captain Pike. In other words, Captain Pike. Anyway,
we've got Captain Pike, but we've got Captain Kirk now, who's been introduced into the series because he's on board, and we're going to get. Eventually, this will lead to Pike's demise. We'll see what happens to him, and then that will end. That will end that series.
Now, I'll just explain why I'm a bit confused. Confused.
All right. Yeah.
I saw something that said there's a new Star Trek coming out as well called Starfleet Academy.
Starfleet Academy is definite. That's coming out.
Now, apparently, this one is set in the future.
That's
It's got Holly Hunter, who's going to be a captain, right?
Yeah.
This bloke that was sort of like showing you the trailer or pictures of it said, "Spot the white man," right? Because apparently, if you watch every still from it, right, you can't find one, right?
Oh God!
And they really want you to buy into it because you walk past a sign that says, James Kirk Boulevard."
Oh no!
Right, and it's supposed to be after a big event because pretty much when you see Starfleet Academy, it looks where the San Francisco Bridge is, it looks very much like it's been demolished. It looks really like barren and so forth. So it must be 100 years set after a big another war or something, or the Borg have come along or something. And I just turned around and I went, this sounds like a bloody horrible idea.
It does. I mean, and that's why when I, thought they're doing another prequel about Captain Kirk, and that actor, he's just got no charisma. It's what is the point? I don't understand it.
I've heard the biggest criticism. The biggest criticism of it is it's supposed to be Captain Pike's show.
Yeah.
According to lore, he only ever met him a couple of times.
Yes, I've heard that as well. Yeah.
He's been in it more times than Spock's been in it.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, it doesn't have the right feel about it, and it should do. I don't know what it is. And this, as I say, Captain Kirk, because William Shatner was so good in the part. I mean, you've got to have an actor who looks like he's got a bit of charisma about him.
Yeah.
This character doesn't. You wouldn't say, "Oh, that's William Shatner." That's Captain Kirk. You're not going to say that at all. I mean, this is the problem with these prequels. I hope that they don't do any more now. I'd really think they should stop.
You got to get somebody who overacts on it, ain't you?
Yeah.
You got to have somebody that goes, are you out of your Vulcan mind?
You've got to get.
My God, man. Warp speed now.
And it ought to look more 1960s.
You got to have gaps, haven't you? You know, Stardate 264.
I could get into a lot of trouble, but we want it to look like 1960s, and everybody and the women should look like 1960s women, and that would be great.
They've got the hardest thing in the world, I have to say, because at the end, you can't really make something that's supposed to be set before Kirk look even rougher than it did back in 1960.
Yeah.
When you're making it in 2025, it must be the hardest thing in the world to do.
I think as well. If you think about it, you think of the original pilot episodes that we've seen, and you look at the style of the interior and everything, and now these, even though it's supposedly before all this, all the interiors look very modern. They look extremely, but that's how it's going to be. They never get that full retro style right. They have to sort of modernize it, which don't work. But I suppose that's the danger. That's why, I say, I feel I like to see now no more of these.
I've been thinking and thinking. Every time I do something with Denny, right?
Yeah.
We keep going back to ourselves and say, really, is nostalgia that strong in us?
Yeah.
We question ourselves all the time. What is it about when this stuff come out? Because Star Trek came out, I was a little kiddie, but the thing that I liked about it was colorful. I liked the actors. I liked the stories.
Yeah.
The music I was humming the next day in school. Right. Later on in my adult life, I'm buying the CDs of the scores because they've actually been earworms in my head for years and years and years. And yet they never actually repeated them very often because the BBC had this thing about not putting repeats on too much and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I watch something now and I go, couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't like the music. I don't like the style of it. I don't like the writing in it.
Yeah.
I don't like. And I just think to myself, am I turning into an old bastard? Or what is it about the 60s and the 70s shows and 80s and all that sort of stuff?
I mean, do you know the Strange New World episode? As much as I like it, it's hit and miss. One week it has some good episodes, then it has some terrible ones. Why did they have to have a musical one? And do you know what the latest one they're going to do?
Oh.
They're going to do a puppet episode. Why?
Have they got Jerry Anderson's production on it?
Yeah, I mean, why a puppet episode? I mean, what is this? They don't have that many episodes to play with.
I'll tell you what, it's almost like the producer said if Doctor Who could do the Celestial Toy Maker remake.
Oh, no, don't talk about
the Punch and Judy show, then we could do a whole episode like that.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, you see, well, Doctor Who, I hardly. Oh God, that's awful.
That was the 60th anniversary, wasn't it? With the Celestial.
It was terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. One of the worst things I've seen.
There was one whole section where it was a Punch and Judy show, wasn't it?
It was just why do they do this? But I mean, why does Star Trek: Strange New Worlds have to have a puppet episode? Why? It's the trendy thing. I mean. To me, it's a wasted episode because they are limited now. They've been cut back and it's going to end. They know that the series is going to end. So why are they wasting the time on a stupid episode? Yeah. That's the whole... I don't understand it. If somebody can explain why they're doing this.
Wow,
they're doing it.
I'll tell you what, Ian, I'll tell you what it is. It's illogical to me.
Oh, yes, it's illogical.
I had to get that one in.
Oh dear.
I had to get that one in. So sorry about that. But there you
Somebody
go.
explain to me why in the modern world they have to do this. Why? Why do they do it? And even it is illogical, old chap. I say why? Why? Oh, why do they do it? I don't know. Are they? I don't know because nobody says, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to puppet episode." Oh, I can't wait. Nobody says that. I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, I can't wait for the musical episode." Oh, to see Kirk and Spock singing away. Wow. Yes. Nobody says that. Anyhow,
We better get on with the questions, haven't we? Otherwise, people will be
yeah.
starting to throw things
Right.
at the telly or something.
So where were we? Oh yeah, we got to Denny. We'll get Denny now.
He's actually going to work, by the way, now. Yeah.
Hi lads, have an hour before I go to work.
Yeah.
So you're just about to go to work.
By the way, you've just missed out around about an hour's worth of comments. You got to go back up, Ian.
No, we had Fantastic Four there.
No, sorry, it's just.
Yeah.
By the way, right at the bottom now, it's got. I'm off to work. Sorry, I thought it was the same.
Yeah. No, this was 8:14.
Yeah, so we're an hour behind.
8:12. 8:12. Yeah.
Yeah. He went at 8:56, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah. You were worrying me. You were trying to give me a heart attack.
No, because he's written. He's put. This is.
Hang
on, Ian. Before you go, his last comment is: "Work calls. Enjoy the rest of your evening."
So it's just going. Well,
and you put, "Hiya, lads. Have an hour before I go to work."
Yeah.
So I thought it was the same thing. I was going.
Here it says. I was just looking. It says we've been live 56 minutes, 27.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, thank you, Denny. Anyhow, for being here, even though you're not here now. But thank you. You're welcome. Man in a Suitcase is a bargain. Oh yes. And then Sai says Explorers is such a great film. Was hired from the video shop many times.
Yeah, about 3 kids that basically that build a sort of like spaceship in their backyard and actually go up. Well, I don't want to ruin it. Not that. If I do ruin it, it's from about 1985.
Yeah.
Great film.
So Sai says, Del, you are going to love Nobody. It's such a blast.
Yeah, I do love I must admit, I do love Nobody.
Yeah.
And nobody loves me.
Oh dear. Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And Denny says he's got all those films you bought, Del. Laugh out loud. So there you are.
So Denny's got all the films I've just bought. That's
and then Nobody is a fantastic film. Nobody 2 is in production. Oh, well, wow. That's good. They've done a follow-up. Yeah. It says it. Sai says Nobody 2 is out in a few weeks at the cinema. Oh wow!
It's out of production and editing already. But yeah,
it's very quick.
It only took 30 seconds for to go between those two. By the time we've said it, it's at the cinema now. You can go and bloody watch it.
Oh dear. Denny says, question is, how does the Thing get his rocks off? Oh dear. No. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. What can I say? Oh dear. And then
he probably listens to what's his name? Oh, Rocky Mountain High, who sings Rocky Mountain High and Country Roads. John Denver.
John Denver.
Probably gets his rocks off listening to John Denver's Rocky Mountain High.
Rocks off. Yeah. Denny said, last Saturday I watched Charles Bronson and Elizabeth Montgomery in the episode 2 from The Twilight Zone. Classic episode. Oh,
that's a first season episode. It was Charles Bronson's first TV production show, I think.
Wow.
It's based on the fact that they're both soldiers. There's been a total war. They're in this city together. He's the
Right.
last man, she's the last woman, but they're both trying to kill each other because they're on both opposing sides. And then they realize that it's pointless being enemies with each other. When the war is now just totally over with, you might as well just put down your guns and go forth. It's a very good story.
It sounds good.
The thing about the Twilight Zone is that he only had 22 minutes to tell all these stories.
Yeah,
it's taken me nearly 3 minutes to describe it, let alone 22 minutes to act it.
It sounds a good premise, though. That's a great premise. Yeah. And that's first season.
Yeah. Brilliant. I mean, it's a bewitching episode.
Yeah. Oh, bewitching. Oh dear. Yes.
Elizabeth Montgomery.
Yes, I knew that. Yes, I know. Yes. You had to get it.
Hey, look, I'm not here next week. Of course I am. I'm here next week. I'm available for bar mitzvahs, weddings.
A bar mitzvah.
Weddings.
Let's have a look. I cry at the scene with Spike and his mum in 28 Years Later. I've seen it twice and I well up. Yeah, that is an emotional scene. The thing is, the film is very emotional. That's what's one of its strengths. It's definitely an emotional film, the journey and everything. And I'm going to look forward to watching it again. It's a good film. It really is. It keeps you totally there. And there's a lot going on, which I think a second viewing I'll see even more. Which would be interesting. But
and just before we go any further, because obviously we're talking about 28 years later, and this is a totally different subject. Seems very much like there's some really, and I'm glad about this in a way. There's been some really good press about The Naked Gun, that comes out today. I think it's today or tomorrow. Apparently, it's a laugh out loud riot. I said I was dead against them ever doing it because I can't think of anybody other than playing Frank Drebin. I can't think of anybody taking over that role, but apparently Liam's done a really good job. And somebody turned around and said, I don't understand what you're going on about and why a person who's known for doing serious films can't do comedy when it was it was Leslie Niels, who actually was a heavy in films like Forbidden Planet, who then went into comedy. That's the whole point. He can be deadpan because he can basically play it straight without laughing, and that's the whole point of why Naked Gun works. So it seems like it's genius that they've got Frank Drebin Jr. played by Liam Nielsen playing in this role. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a good film. Maybe I should shut my mouth and say, "Oi, what preach? What say what you preach what you say, all of that." Because you said you didn't want to go and see it, and it's doing great business, and it's a comedy, and there aren't many comedies out there. Get out there and support it. I'll tell you what, I'll eat my Bible, right?
That's dear, that could be painful. Yeah.
I will give it a try. Simple as that.
Before we go on, I'd just like to give a shout out here to Delboy. Please, if you've not subscribed to his channel, please subscribe. I've put a link in the description so you can go over there if you haven't. And please subscribe to his channel. He is well known for doing this wonderful blog, which he does. Absolutely brilliant. The blog is. You love it. Honestly, it's great. It's just him going on a journey with you, through his life, and I think it's fantastic. And then it does have, obviously, it's sometimes difficult to do other videos, but he has been doing some, I don't know, in the gaming community. So they're always worth watching, especially, if you're into games and what have you. So please go and check his channel out. As I say, it's there in the description, and you'll have a real grand time. So there we are. Right.
You know what? Just to say, what a humbling thing it is to be here, and thanks to Ian, he's a great supporter of me. Apparently, if I send him 50 quid, he's going to say all of that in one of his videos that gets 1,000 views. Unfortunately, I don't give him 50 quid, so he only ever does it when there's about 6 people watching. So I'm just trying to save up my coffers to send 50 quid. And I've been assured he will mention me in one of his videos to get more watches than this that we do on a Wednesday.
Actually, the other important thing I think for his channel is also give him a like, because that will help him a lot.
It really would, actually.
So as well as checking, as well as subscribing, give that blog a like. That'd be really good.
Hang on, I've got something to show.
Oh, crikey!
No, because I don't want Sandra to go, and Sandra is here. Okay, Sandra is here, so I'm going to turn my background off just to show her what I'm playing at the moment. So, Sandra, this is just for you because I respect everything that you do, and thanks for being here. I have now got on my Switch 2 Donkey Kong Bonanza. All right, so I will be playing that and telling you about it in my blog on Sunday. How's that? Just for you, I'll do that for you. All right, because she's well into a Switch 2. I tell you, If only I'd ever met a girl that liked games back in the day, I'd have probably, you know what I mean.
Back in the day.
Yeah, they all were into Barbie. They were all into Barbie and Miss World's head, where you put makeup and all that sort of stuff on it, and that. They were. If I put a game on, they'd go, "Nah, I don't want to play on that."
Was that before the war?
Yeah, before the war.
Before the war, 1914-18 war.
You know, when people had Nora Batty stockings on. And I nearly fell over if I saw a thigh. Yeah, that's it.
Oh dear. Right. Here we are. This one. It says only certain action scenes were filmed on iPhone, so it wasn't only certain ones. Danny Boyle used several cameras to shoot different scenes, some digital and some film. Oh, that's good to know. But honestly, I don't think you could see any difference. There was no sort of difference in quality. It all looked really good, and it's well worth watching. Brilliant film, and I'll probably get a copy of it when it comes out. And then please, this site says, please search for Warrior with Nick Nolte and Tom Hardy. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars for his performance. He's absolutely epic in the film. Have you seen Warrior?
A while back. It's about. I think it's about 12 years old, 13 years ago.
All right.
If I remember rightly, Warrior is because it's Tom Hardy, so it must be not that long ago. I think it's about martial art boxing.
Ah, right.
And I think the reason that those two are in it is Nick Nolte, who's older, has got to come out of retirement to fight his brother.
Oh.
I think that's it. It's been a long time, though. I might be totally wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I saw it because it was on Sky.
Oh, right. Is that an 80s or 90s film? You don't know?
No. 2011.
Oh,
12.
it's always late.
I
Oh, it's
said, well, you
great.
see,
Yeah.
when I say 10 or 11 years ago, I don't mean like in 11 score years and 10 or something.
Yeah, well, I can't say.
Right? 11 years ago is not 1987, right?
It could
Believe
be.
it or not, that was about 35,
You
36
might
years
as
ago,
well
Ian,
just
right?
move back
Right?
a bit, you know.
10 or 11 years ago was probably about about
Yeah, yeah,
2012. Yeah,
yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
around there. Believe it,
I know my maths isn't very good. You know,
Jesus
I
Christ.
wasn't top at maths.
Yeah,
I was
you should
bottom.
be a millionaire in Leeds
Yeah,
with those
I
maths.
literally am. I literally was at bottom of the class virtually at maths. I'm open. I failed. I didn't even get my O level in maths. I failed it. And
But
they
I'm just
tried
going
to
to go
get
and
me
check.
to do
It
it on
is 21
CSE.
minutes past. It's 21 minutes past 9 now, and my sister hasn't rung the bell, so I'm worried. So I'm just going to check on
Oh,
my sister. But this is
okay.
the point. This is the point where I have to get her into bed.
Right.
So
Okay, I'll
if you
carry
can
on with
hold
comments.
if you can hold the fort, I'll be as quick as I can. But it's getting
Okay,
my mum into bed, you know.
right. Okay, we'll see you in a bit then. Yeah, yeah. Nick Nolte, I thought was great. So that sounds interesting. Anyhow, Warrior, epic in the film, brilliant. Look out for that. And then we've got Danny saying, "Agree, Ian. Spring and Port Wine needs a 4K or Blu-ray release." Oh yeah, crikey. Set in Huddersfield as well. While we're on the subject of James Mason, A Journey to the Centre of the Earth 4K would be nice, please. Yes, it would. That would be absolutely fantastic. Will it happen? Who knows? I don't know. I don't. It depends who's releasing it. If it's one of those 20th Century Fox, Disney ones, then we're not going to get it, are we? I don't know, to be honest. It would be great to have that Journey to Centre Earth, but for me, Spring and Port Wine was absolutely fantastic, and a Blu-ray release would be great. Absolutely, just something about that film. I just loved his performance, and I say Rodney Bewes is in it. Susan George. Wow, it just works so well. It's brilliant. I can't talk about enough of it. I loved it. The script, fantastic script. The film locations as well. Um, Even though it was filmed in Bolton, it looks fantastic. Absolutely. What can you say? Just great film of that period, 1970. 1970, some great films. Yeah, actually 70s. Do you know, I'm going to have, well, not a rant, but a lot of people I know will say that the 80s were the golden age of films and all that. But I say this, people shouldn't overlook the 70s, and the 60s. 60s and 70s, there's some great films, absolutely wonderful films. And, it's like with horror. People say, oh, yeah, horror, 80s, 1973, Exorcist. And then there's The Omen as well in the 70s. You got Suspiria. I've probably done this rant other times, but those films are absolute classics, and they're from the 70s, and of course 60s has got all those wonderful Hammer films. Rosemary's Baby, of course, as well, which was ahead of its time. So yeah, people talk about the 80s, but definitely 60s and 70s in terms of horror is absolutely brilliant. It's probably my favorite periods. Yeah. Even Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a 70s film, which people overlook, which started off so many films so influential. Yeah, the 70s is just a major part of horror. And then you could probably go deeper into a lot of Italian horror films in the 70s as well. Oh, wow. Wow. Amazing. Right. Now. This is what Delboy was on about. Eureka from Japan is a weird game show made famous in this country by Clive James. Ah, yes, Clive James. It wasn't he great, Clive James? We could do with somebody like that who looks back at sort of things that are going on in a particular week. And yeah, the Japanese were wonderful. They still are, probably. What has happened to all those kind of shows? You'd have thought Channel 4 might have a go. I know they had in the past a go at this kind of programs as well. And I say, I do remember Clive James. Yeah, well, I think it was on a Sunday, something like that. I remember it well. It was good. He had that Aussie humour, and it worked well. It worked well. I'm trying to think. What was the yeah? Channel 4 used to have a program, and it has totally gone out of my brain. It was a bit silly. It was done in a light-hearted way, and looked at sort of weird stuff. That sort of, they would probably have done weird shows. Oh, crikey! I can't think what it's called. It's on. As soon as I hear it, someone say yes. Why can't I remember that show? But yeah, there was one, and they looked at. It was done with these two French guys. And they sort of delved in all sort of weird stuff, and they would have included sort of weird game shows. I can't think what it's called, and it's when I know I'll go, yes, I'll go like that. They brought it out, I think. In a massive box set as well, and it was an absolute stack of discs. And my brain has totally gone. I can't think, but I bet Delboy would know. This is how bad my brain has gone. I've got so much rubbish going around. I can't remember things like that, which I should do. Anyhow, we have got Sandra saying, hello, people. Welcome to our channel again. And then we've got Sai saying, hi, Sandra. And then Sandra says, I bought, I don't know, it's continued down here. I bought the Herbie collection this week, as I loved the Herbie films as a kid. But I watched one of them last night. It was absolute dross. I won't be watching the others. Do you know, I remember loving them as a kid, but I think I saw one of them quite a few years later, and it had lost something. It wasn't that good, was it? So you've really confirmed that with that, which is sad because it's like the memory has tricked us. And I remember going to see them and thinking they were absolutely hilarious. Wonderful things. It's a bit sad, isn't it? Really, that our memories have cheated us. Well, perhaps as a kid we did. We see things differently, but now as adults, we don't. Though I don't think that's totally true. I'm arguing with myself because there are things that I remember as a child that you watch, and then as an adult, I've watched them and thought, wow, they were great films. I still think the original, a lot of the original Disney films, I really enjoy. The 2D ones, I don't like the 3D ones. And I don't think the memory cheats on those at all. I think you can really appreciate them. But yeah, Herbie films, yeah. I wonder if I would feel the same as well. Because I remember seeing them. Did they do 2 or 3? I think could have been. They may have done 3. I think there was Herbie Rides Again, and there could have been another one. And I thought like the same. But, you know, that's how it is. As adults, we see things differently sometimes. Yeah. And then Sai says, I went to see a special screening of The Itcher on Thursday last week. It was absolutely amazing on the big screen. What can you say? I bet it was. I bet it was fantastic, you know. And I presume you've seen the restored version. They must have done a restoration, because there was all that with the release. Was it a 4K Blu-ray release that they did, and they'd restored it? But to see it on the actual screen is fantastic. I'm still trying to think if I saw it on the screen. I may well have done. I can't remember. It was in that period when I probably might have seen it. I used to go regularly. Well, every week I used to go to cinema. I'm not sure if I saw The Itcher. Also as a student as well. But I think The Itcher might be later. That. So when I was a student, we just saw stacks and stacks of films. Yeah. But to see it on the big screen is fantastic. Absolutely. I think it's great. I don't know what else to say. It's such a good film. It's an outstanding film. It is. You would always rate it very, very highly. I would. Right. Let's have a look here. This is a good question, Sandra. Did you ever buy a DVD of a series you loved as a kid, but it turned out to be trash? I'll tell you a film that intrigues me a lot. Is there was two things really. Is the original Snow White film. Now, I remember as a kid going to see that film and loving all the bits with the dwarfs and loving the color, the animation and everything. But I always felt, as I remember, that some of the songs were not, I mean, obviously the favorite songs were good, but it sounded kind of very dated because it was set, wasn't it? It was made, I think, in 1930s, wasn't it? About right at the end. Am I right on that? I think it's set in so it's music of that period and the singers and the songs, and it's very reflected in that. And I remember thinking, oh dear, when I was watching it as a kid, some of these songs are a bit boring, apart from like Whistle While You Work and all that. And then years later, I watched it, and I can see why the songs are of that period. And as a kid, I think it doesn't seem quite as I can see why I didn't like the songs of that period as a kid.
Just quickly, and I'll be about 3 minutes. Just finish. My sister's just leaving. All right, I've got a lot. I've just got to do it. All right.
That's all right. Yeah. Yeah. Songs were of that period, and what kid is going to enjoy that? And of course, as you grow up as well, you get into music, and the music is of what you particularly like of that period. It's not going to be music of the 40s, 30s, and 40s until you get much older. If you're into music, and then you will start to appreciate period stuff and music. So when you look at Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, you get I always think the music really dates it, but on the other hand, the animation is absolutely amazing. You could see why it's so groundbreaking. Um, the style, the way it's put together, and also another thing, it's not too long. It never feels like it's going on too long. You get into pretty quickly get into the action, and that's also the character of the witch. She was quite terrifying, I think, for an animated film. I think that certainly a lot of children would have looked at her and thought, "Oh my God," quite frightening, especially younger children. But that is a film that I certainly changed my opinion of. I think over the years, I've got to like it the other way around. I'm trying to think of any other films I thought were, because I don't think Snow White is dross. I don't, but I used to be not as keen on it, I must admit, because of the music. But I do appreciate it a hell of a lot more. Hmm, uh, I know. Do you know what films I really don't? I didn't like that much as a kid, and also I think now I'm not as keen on still. You remember at school how you had to read? There were certain books they had in the library. There was like the Black Beauty is the one I'm thinking of. Black Beauty was always there, and we was like, "You got to read this bloody thing," and nobody wanted to read it. And then when it appeared on screen, you were bored out of your head with it. I think it's. I don't know if they did a film, but I remember I think they did a TV series of it, and God, it was absolute dross. And I'm sure if I watched it now, I would still think it was absolute dross. And I wouldn't want to be watching that again. There's certain things like that. I get your question very much, but the Herbie films are interesting. That the way your opinion, I'm the same. I thought they were hilarious as a kid, but now they don't seem to be that good. So that's my opinion. What have you got any opinions about that?
Oh, I get the question.
Yeah, this.
I tell you what, the biggest problem is, if you'd have asked that question 10 years ago,
Yeah,
it would have been more relevant than now, because most people won't buy a box set of something from the 70s or something without downloading or watching one episode on YouTube to make sure it's worth buying.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Because nostalgia and rose tinted glasses come in, and you can get quite easy. There's a lot of stuff that has aged poorly.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I can't see me buying a box set of Jack and Ori.
No, no, exactly. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
Book Tower.
Yeah.
Or what's it called? Was it The Storyteller? Do you remember that on ITV? It used to be called I'm a Storyteller and my stories must be told. No, well, you would remember that because you were about 50 when that was on.
Yeah, yeah, that was at least. Yeah.
There is stuff that you know that has not aged well, is what I'm trying to say. And no matter what you're trying to do, you can't hide it. You can get away with it with Doctor Who, Blake Seven, all of those sort of things.
Yeah.
Because, well, one of two things: they weren't as bad. They did a heck of a lot with the actual sets that they had. Black and white hid a lot of badness.
Yes.
If you'd have done it in color, it would have looked shocking.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's the fact that you were probably watching it when you were 8 years old, and if you watch it now, the stories still hold up. It's the stories, they still hold up. You know, we were talking about Doctor Who and Patrick Troughton's Seeds of, was it the Seeds of Death?
The one with the yeah,
The
the
one with
breathing
the one with the
difficulties.
Ice Warriors and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Teen
the
Man,
Ice Warriors.
which gets a really bad knocking from
Yeah,
people
it
in
does. I
regards
don't know
to that
why. Yeah,
season, but I actually thought it was
yeah,
quite good.
yeah, yeah,
Because it actually covers things that's actually quite important, which is how do you get food from one place to another?
yeah.
And you've got this company called TMAT, and they've
That's
invented
it. Yeah,
the
yeah,
transportation system that allows you to um, transmit food to places that would
yeah,
require that food. And if you knock that
yeah,
out, then of course we all die world hunger.
yeah,
And they did all of those. There was another one on the moon that controlled the weather, wasn't there? Which was a
yeah,
Cyberman story, the moon
yeah,
base,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
All similar things along a theme, but basically fantastical, and they hold up even now. But there's the oh, I'm just trying to think of a TV show that I did buy that I wish I hadn't. I'm just
yeah.
trying to think on DVD. What did I buy?
I
Really
was
bad.
thinking as well. Don't forget the TVs were different in those days. The
Oh yeah,
quality
yeah,
of the TV sets. There were
yeah, yeah.
smaller screens, small screens, and it wouldn't have made much difference.
Well,
You wouldn't have
you've
noticed.
also got to remember that we transitioned from a 16 millimeter format to video.
Yeah.
Video was still new, and the quality of television, it still had the same amount of lines, but the color hid again a lot of stuff because you put a color overlay over black and white and you soften the image slightly
Mm. Yeah.
because of the way 16 millimeter and the way that um, video is recorded and played
Yeah.
back as a broadcasting medium, right? But I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, really, really quickly. Bound sure to be a comedy. Uh, Let me think. Yeah, there was a BBC comedy that I thought was all right, and I look at it now and it's absolutely atrocious. And it's one that it should have been gold because it had Ronnie Barker in it,
Oh.
and it was called Clarence.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And it was part of a box set of Ronnie Barker shows.
Yeah.
And when I watch all the stuff, and you see Porridge, and you see Going Straight, and you see all of this sort of stuff, and Seven of One, and all
Mm.
of this sort of stuff, you get to Clarence, and it's pretty poor. A short-sighted removal man sounds like it could be comedy gold,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
and it was set in a period piece as well, which means that it's a treble of what I might like,
Mm.
But
Yeah.
actually, it's about as funny as me being slapped round the face with a wet kipper, or tickled to death with drawing pins, right? It's not great. To answer your question, I watched that as a teenager, and it's pretty trashy. Pretty
Mm.
trashy. And yet, I mean, I could mention a million over in the States. I can't. I think are real trash. I've tried to watch things like that Stamford and Son, which is supposed to be
Oh,
Steptoe.
Step Johnson. Yeah. Yeah.
I even remember really, 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 really loving a show called Soap in the
Yeah.
70s, which was about the Tates and the Campbells. And I watched it the other day on Rewind TV, and oh
Mm.
my God, has that aged?
Oh, really?
Jesus Christ, it's aged. I mean, I
Oh.
watched the episode which was good, which was about Alien Bert, where a doppelganger of Bert comes
Yeah.
down, which was funny. But Billy Crystal as a gay and all of this sort of stuff, and it has moments, that's supposed to be quite good, but no, the comedy is very much a miss
Oh.
in this
Mm.
era now. I watched Different Strokes as well with the late Gary Coleman. Two black kids being looked after by a white
Yeah.
millionaire Conrad Bain, I think his name was. I think.
Yeah.
Dana Plato was his daughter. Apparently, everybody that was in that came up to a bad end. Gary Coleman had a brain. Was well. There's a mystery over his death, whether he was killed by his wife or whether he was found dead by having pots and pans land on his head or something. Dana Plato took a drug overdose. There's so many things. Another show that is really, really poor to watch now is Metal Mickey. Oh my God, with Irene Handlin, which Irene Handlin, I love her to death. Irene Handlin, God, she played the same sort of character and over again. Every single one was brilliant because she was in The Love of Ada and all sorts of stuff. Right? But Metal Mickey with with these gobstoppers that brought him to life and this great big like telly. It was almost like wheeling on a telly when you're at school. Right, it came on like this and it just moved around like this.
Oh God,
it's bloody awful, absolutely atrocious. That is. So yeah, there's a number I should think. I hope that's elongated our time with showing up tonight because I've mentioned a few there. Maybe I've brought some joy of memories. I don't.
Yeah.
Metal Mickey should not be one of them.
Right. And then Denny says, work calls, enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Well, goodbye, Denny. Even
bye,
though you won't be here now.
You little shit, bye. Go on, go to work, you git. Oh.
And then Si says, night, Denny. And then Si says, my local independent cinema is doing its annual Halloween all-nighter. I'm booked in for 3 mystery films, which only get revealed on the night. And American Werewolf in London and Fright Night are on.
So I take it those are three. Yeah. There's 3 mystery films, but those can't be included. Those 2 films, otherwise it ain't much of a mystery.
Yeah. Well, let's hope the mystery films. Let's hope they are.
No. You never know. I'll tell you what's good about that is that with so many horror restorations, you might get something like a broadcast of The Stuff or something like that, or Reanimator or something, which would be good because there's been a lot of people that have bought physical media and they've seen it on their telly and now they can see it on the big screen and see how it was there in a new restoration for the cinema. So maybe that would be good that they do something like that.
Like Texan Chainsaw Massacre or something, a good restoration of that. Or the second one, which I know they've released as a restored version. Dennis Hopper's in the second one. It's quite good. Right. And then we've got Sandra saying, Delboy, if you think of doing people's games again, I'll be delighted if you played Dandy on the Atari computer. There you are.
I am. I'll tell you what's good and bad about things at the moment is that I started to do this new one called Delboy Shorts. Right, it was supposed to be a joke, right? Delboy Shorts, right? And it showed a picture of my shorts, right, with a picture of the game or something, as a sort of like patch or something on these shorts or something. Anyway, I digress. And it was supposed to show games that I've definitely played, but I haven't played for years. And of course, the videos are only about 7 minutes long, and I'm choosing them. And I got some incredibly good feedback. And then all of a sudden, I did one of my most favorite games I haven't played in years called Mr. Do. And the amount of dislikes
I
got for it. And I'm sure Frank Holder didn't mean it. And I don't mean to name a name, but he said he found it painful to watch.
Oh dear.
Me playing such a game that he loves played badly. And it put me off maybe doing any more because at the end of the day, it's just supposed to give you the gist of what the game is. It's not supposed to be me showing you 20 minutes of fantastic gameplay. It's supposed to say, look, here's a
It's a
game
bit
that
of
came out
fun,
in
though, isn't it?
1982. Here's a
Sure,
game
it's
that
a bit
came
of
out in
fun. Yeah,
1982. I put lots of money in it. You got a
yeah.
little clown. He goes around this maze. He's got a little power ball. He picks up cherries, and here's me playing it. And I got to level 4, right? I got to level 4, right? And it lasts. This whole video lasts about 7 minutes, right? And I got that sort of feedback. I was going, "Wow, is it worth me doing this anymore?"
Oh,
But I do look at it and think maybe I've just taken it too harshly. I'm
yeah.
sure he didn't mean anything too badly, but he could have. I suppose I think to myself, if I was writing a critique, I'd have probably have put, "This is a really good game. If you ever want help with how to play the game, let me know. I'll send you some tips because it is a hard game, but and you didn't play it very well. But it said it was painful to watch. I had to stop halfway through." He put, "Oh God, I'm going, Jesus Christ." And it wasn't supposed to be that type of video at all. And I told some of my friends, by the way, this is the reason I'm getting to this, Sandra Clark, that I was thinking about bringing my friends' videos back, to play games, because so many of them came back in the blog and said, if there was ever one thing that you could bring back that I'd like to see you continue to do, and that's to get the friends ones. I really enjoyed the fact that I chose a game for you and I saw you try and play it. It was hilarious. And I don't mind that, because I don't mind being the joke, that can't play very well.
Yeah.
Because all you do is hear me swear going, "So I'm just going to kill this alien git. You bastard, you just killed me, you little shit." Right, I'm going to start again. Right, I've got to go up big. You bastard. That's all you see. That's all you see for about 20 minutes is me ranting the aliens that are trying to kill me. And I'd be glad to play Dandy. You haven't mentioned whether it's the Atari 2600, the Atari 800, whether it's an arcade. Dandy doesn't ring a bell with me at the moment, but I'm pretty sure if I did a search for Dandy, it'll tell me that it's the Atari 8-bit range or something, and I'll find it. So all I'm saying is Sandra, watch this space. It was 2 weeks ago that I said I was bringing it back. That means next week is when I should be starting to record them. So I'm pretty sure I'll start those up. But the one thing, I'm just going to show you this now, just so you know, I'm doing my film shorts. So I'm doing Delboy's film shorts, right? Just so you know. And here's the background of one of my images that I'm that you have to put up an image on YouTube, that says you're doing a short and all that.
Thumbnail.
This is one I designed. It's
Yeah,
not brilliant, but it's, here we go. It might not even show up very well. So I'll click that. There you are, look. I don't know if you can see that, the edge. Hang on.
Oh, the edge. Oh, we've got it now. Oh, brilliant. Hey, that's good. Yeah.
Now, that is all I did, and I cheated. I said, "Excuse me, artificial intelligence, can you draw me a logo that has Anthony Hopkins fighting a grizzly with a lightning background and a plain border, please?" And it came up with that.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
And I went, you know what? I've got to do that again. So the next one, just so you know what the first two ones I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
The next one, and this isn't the finished picture, but that's the next one.
Oh,
Running Man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
I said, can I have a futuristic picture based on the film The Running Man with a city background and a transparent layer at the back?
Yeah, very good.
We did that.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
The two shorts that I will be doing will be The Running Man, The Edge.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent.
Just so you know, I have not forgotten about cinema. I will be doing.
Brilliant. That's what we want to see.
Stuff.
Yeah, we want to see that. Right. And then, we've got Sandra saying, give him a £50 check and post date it to 2050. He'll not notice.
No, but the bastard will bloody cash it in 2050, and I'll be
uh,
broke.
and then Sandra says, "Oh, I can't wait to hear about that Delboy. I think it's amazing, but I cannot afford it right now. I look forward to your blog. Can we have some gameplay footage on it?"
I'll
Oh,
try.
interesting. Yeah.
I'll let you know, Sandra. When I capture my footage, I use something called Elgato. It's a game capture card. And it's one that I spent quite a bit of money on it. I think it was about 130 quid. Some of my friends they bought for 20 or 30 pound capture cards, but I wanted one that would capture in 4K, just in case I put my PlayStation 5 on or something. So I could do it. And like I say, I'm going to be starting to play that game in the next couple of days if I can get some time to myself. I've just heard great things about it, and at the end of the day, I just thought, why the hell not? I haven't bought myself something for me to do in a long time, and the Switch 2 is quite in vogue at the moment. In when it comes to YouTube, why not bring out a 5-minute video on something, and because I put Donkey Kong Bonanza in it. It'll probably get picked up by the algorithm, and you never know. I might have 600 views or something of me trying to control a crazy monkey that's after bananas. There you are.
Right. And next we got Size and Warrior. It's from 2011. Nick Nolte plays the father of Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. And it's set in the world of MMA. Please watch it. I highly recommend it. What's MMA?
Right, I wasn't far off. That's mixed martial arts.
Oh, right.
Remember, I told you, I said, I think Nick Nolte is the father of somebody who's got a fight in the ring.
Yeah.
And I said, it's a martial arts film. And I said, I think it's about 12, 13 years ago. How can I be not that far off, look, with that statement there?
That's pretty good, I would say, that you remembered it. MMA, mixed martial arts. Well, there we are. Oh, yeah. Now, this was the thing. Yeah, of course, this is it. And my brain just couldn't remember. But here it is. It is Euro Trash, the channel for show you're going on about. Yes, it is. That's it.
Well, what the bloody hell were you talking about?
We're talking about, like weird game shows and stuff, from Japan or something.
Clive James used to show these Japanese people eating sheep's brains.
They do all sorts of weird sort of stuff that you'd see. It was a really good, enjoyable program because the commentary was done in a light way.
Was on a Friday evening, around about 2 a.m, and it had the French presenter, didn't it?
Yeah, it had two. It had two of them. Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Yeah, that's right.
He was a fashion designer. And the other bloke, I can't remember his name. And then there was a lady who did the commentary, and she was all funny. She was doing it in a very sort of...
She did it deadpan, didn't she?
Brilliant. She was really
She did
good.
it deadpan, yeah.
Yeah, she was brilliant at it, because it was a funny program. You couldn't help but laugh at it. It was so silly. It really was, Yeah. And that, as you say, it was meant for pub audience, I think.
Well, yeah. I remember before that there was The Word. No, was it The Word?
The Word. And
was it The Word? I don't know. It was a very late night.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Show where you had horrible people like youngsters trying to kiss a granny and all sorts of stuff. It was bloody awful. I think Oliver Reed famously went on there pissed or something.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
Then they had something like Eurotrash on. Then they'd have something like Pete Waterman doing The Hitman and Her with
that was a nice thing.
Where he would go to nightclubs interviewing people while they were getting pissed on the dance floor.
Yeah, I know that was a really awful program, but yes, he was. Yeah, I remember it. You just sit there watching it and thinking, "Oh God, yeah."
I'm just trying to think what else. You see, Clive James and that game show with the sheep's brains, that was on a Sunday. It was a 10:30 show on a
That's
Sunday
right. Yeah, it was Clive James.
before the South Bank show.
He was brilliant because he had a brilliant take on things. He had that humour, the way it was absolutely brilliant. They found all sorts of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
before South Bank show. Yeah. And then, oh yeah, Sandra says, I loved Metal Mickey as a kid, but Delboy is right. I saw it about a month ago and it's painfully bad.
Oh, good. This bloke and his wife, well, they had more kids than, I mean, they must have loved each other an awful lot because they had about 6 kids.
Yeah.
Right. And he looked like, he didn't look like he had it in him. You know what I mean? This guy.
That's the way of describing somebody.
You know what I mean?
Obviously did. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that it was created and sometimes directed by one of the people that was in the Monkees from the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
It was Delens or something like that.
Mickey. Was it
Delens?
Yeah, I think that's it. Something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Because I think he saw something over here. Like I think he was involved somehow with the double deckers.
Oh 70s. Yeah, I remember double deckers. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So the Monkees had ended. I think he got involved with the production of that. And when he came back over and he pitched another show to ITV, the whole landscape's changed. It's like 1980 at this point.
Yeah.
Buck Rogers was on telly, if you remember rightly.
Yeah,
we were watching stuff. You know, Doctor Who was still on a Saturday, and Buck Rogers was trying to nick the audience from the BBC for this Doctor Who program that keeps being a thorn in their sides. So they did Metal Mickey, didn't they, to try and appease people that liked things like Twiggy from Buck Rogers.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah,
that time, really. I mean, I know an awful lot about that time. That's why me and Denny get on so well, because we bounce off each other with bloody hell, your memory, mate. I go off in tangents. Double deckers, the banana splits, bloody hell.
Oh god, yeah.
I mean, the Monkees. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how many seasons that went on for, but
they kept repeating it.
The one thing I'll say about it, is they didn't have to play "I'm a Believer" on it a lot.
Yes, I'm saying that every week.
The last train to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right. They never played the other tracks that were on the albums that weren't successful very much. They kept playing the same one over and over and over again.
You know what's interesting for me is that I was watching these in children's TV in the 70s. So you were watching them in the 80s on children's TV. So what does that say about sort of some of children's TV? The old stuff was still being shown.
Yeah.
Which to you it wouldn't have been old stuff, but it's quite old, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But popular. Right. Oh yeah. Now we've got Cy that says a film I used to love was Last of the Mohicans. I watched it recently, and boy, does that film drag on. Do you know, I've got it, and I can't remember much about it. I don't know whether it's probably a bad thing. I've got that. I don't remember much about it. Daniel Day-Lewis, is that he's in that, isn't he?
Yeah, but there was a worse one than that, which had Kevin Costner in, based on the Civil War. Do you remember that?
No. What was that one called?
Oh.
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I remember Dances with Wolves came out, right? My bum was numb coming out of the
my bum
coming out of the cinema, right? It was like 2 hours 50 minutes long or something, right?
Yeah.
And then before it came out on sell through, because by that point we were buying sell through stuff. You could buy sell through stuff. They announced that there was going to be a director's version on the sell through, right, with an extra 26 minutes added in, right? But before that, they were going to re-release it in the cinemas so that you could watch it. I thought, Jesus Christ, watching it the first time. Right? You've added 26 extra minutes to this thing.
Time.
I tell you what, I mean, my ass is bigger now than it was the last time I went and saw it. It'll probably hurt me even more. I said, I didn't boycott it, but I didn't see it at the cinema with the extra 26 minutes. But I did buy the sell-through tape.
And let's hope you weren't drinking too much, because you'd have to be holding your wanting to go to the toilet. There's no.
Honestly, you can imagine it, can't you? How many times would you go to the foyer for a bloody drink and a popcorn, right? With a film that's 2 hours, 3 hours, 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
Because it was 2 hours 50, and then it was 3 hours 26, and I'm going, bloody hell!
You need a toilet break. That's what they have intermissions for. That's what they had intermissions for, because people have to hold it for that 3 hours or more.
Yeah. I mean, Star Trek: The Motion Picture was 2 hours 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And even that had an intermission.
Yeah. Well, that's how they used to do it, isn't it? I mean, that's how films were.
I'll tell you what I miss. Star Trek: The Motion Picture to me was an event, and I don't care what anybody says, it was an event for me.
It was. Yeah.
When I went to see the pictures on that, I sat down, right? The curtains came open, a Starfield came on, and for 6 minutes, I listened to just music. And I was going, what's going on?
They used to do that, yes.
Right? It's what they call the overture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And apparently this is something that used to happen in the 50s and 60s.
It did, yeah. Yeah.
Right? And, of course, I loved it, because it was Jerry Goldsmith. I had to get his name in.
Yeah, we've got it in. Right.
But what I'm trying to say was, I was mesmerized. I was just looking at this Starfield thinking, this looks nice.
Yeah.
And not once while I was listening to that overture did I go, get on with it, will you? Bloody hell, Christ.
And nobody else went, get on with it.
No.
Did anybody?
I don't remember any of that. They were sitting down, having a chat, whatever it was, waiting for the... Yeah. You know, suddenly the big bombastic drum.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, it said, obviously it came up with a Universal Pictures, Gene Roddenberry production, and then it suddenly said Star Trek motion picture, and you saw William Shatner come out with bloody 15-foot words, like letters and all that sort of stuff. Going, oh, look how big William Shatner looks like on the screen. To me,
how old they are. I was going, how old?
Mesmerizing.
Yeah.
And then a month later, I remember watching that film, right? A month later, I was going past the spinner rack at the bus shelter, because we had spinner racks then for magazines. Yeah. Right. Don't know if you remember them. They used to be a sort of like white holder for you to put your paper in. They span around, right? And it had Mad magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And it had a picture of this. It had a picture of Kirk and Spock with a load of burnt soil right at the bottom of their feet, and they were cooking marshmallows. Because it was supposed to be the transporter accident, because it was the Star Trek: The Motion Picture parody.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I could. It was 4 pages of pure heaven reading that. Because you have all these caricatures, William Shatner. And he said, he said, welcome to the USS Booby Prize. It's got twice the orchestral power of the old Booby Prize. It's got the biggest D-cell batteries ever known to man. Because that's the batteries for the cells at the back. And all this sort of stuff. I was in heaven reading that.
Yeah.
Absolutely marvelous. In fact, I wish I still had that magazine. I've got a PDF of it. A digital copy.
Yeah.
But that was so funny.
Yeah.
When they got to McCoy and he was dressed up as a disco hustler.
Oh yeah.
Medallion. Because when he gets on board the Enterprise, he's got a beard and he looks like
Yeah.
he looks like the littlest hobo.
Yeah.
Right? They dressed him up in a disco outfit with all down and glasses. It was just funny.
Sandra says you should block him, Delboy. That was an awful comment.
Well, I'm not going to block him because, to be quite honest, it's just some people probably don't think before they write it. I don't want him to think that I'm singling him out because I mentioned it in my blog and I've mentioned it here.
Yeah.
Because both times I've come back and I've said it was just the way it came across. It just upset me. He put two lovely comments. He said, "Oh, this is a great video. This is a great series. I can't wait for the next one. Oh, this is my favorite one so far. You're doing really well. Can't wait for the next one." When the third one came out, the one that I spent the most time on, the one that I did the most time on doing a picture of and everything, he said it's painful to watch. And also, was so deflated. You can't help but be disappointed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when someone turns around and says, "I switched it off halfway through," I'm just so upset.
Yeah. Well, you put all that effort in, and that's what happens.
I mean, he's quite right to actually say it. I'm just saying that it's horrible where something like that occurs.
Yeah.
I will continue. I will get over it, and I'm sure he didn't mean it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wrote it and then can't take it back. I mean, he could have took it down.
Yeah.
He has the ability to go, "Oh no, cancel that," but didn't.
Yeah.
So I just was upset. That's all.
Sandra says, "Dandy Atari 400."
Oh, the game Dandy is on the Atari 400, 800. Yeah, not a problem. What a computer! By the way, I had an Atari. I've still got an Atari 800, an original Atari 800. They came out, by the way, Ian, in 1978.
Oh,
I got mine. I got mine in 1981. When they first came out, that machine, the 800 model, was about £700.
Oh. Yeah.
Believe me, in 1981, that had dropped to 200 and something pounds in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
By that point, the machine was 3 years old. The Commodore VIC-20 had come out. In Britain, Sir Clive Sinclair came along, and
I remember him. Yeah,
and the ZX81, and he'd just brought out the Spectrum. And Atari were on their last legs because they didn't have anything new to come out. The Atari VCS system, which took over the world in 1977, you could get Space Invaders at home in 1970. I mean, right? Everybody wanted a VCS system that cost 199 quid. The Atari 400, 800 was, oh my God, leap years ahead in technology compared to the VCS system. And it still was holding its own against the Commodore 64, which came out in 1982-83. And that machine is 4 years newer than the Atari was. So it just shows you how top of the range that machine was. And yet it was the death knell, really, of Atari, because all they did was they kept revising the same hardware over and over again to save money. They didn't buy it. They didn't develop new chips. They didn't develop new hardware. They just regurgitated what was lying around in the factories and built another machine with a different case. You see what I mean? And they were on their last legs. Really, to be quite honest. So, but I'll tell you what, the Atari game systems that were around in the Atari in that era, I'm looking forward to playing this dandy now. I'm getting myself all excited, you little cow, Sandra. Anyhow, I want to play it now. I want to know what it is. I keep wanting to go. I'll keep going. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up. No, I won't. I won't look it up. Look it up.
And Sandra says she's not a fan. Boycott AI.
Yeah. Now, this is the first time that I've used AI to do something like this, and it was because I could only find crappy images of the Edge as a cover, because they've only done a DVD cover and a crappy sort of blue and white. it's a photograph that they just made. They took all the color out of it and made it blue and white
Mm.
on the edge. Couldn't find any good. I didn't want to put a photo or anything like that. And I thought I can't superimpose a grizzly with Anthony Hopkins. It'd take me forever to cut it out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fiddling around. Yeah,
layer and all this for something that's only going to be 7 minutes long.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So I cheated and went, I'm going to co-pilot and I'll say, design me a picture of Anthony Hopkins next to a grizzly bear with a spear in his hand, with a lightning background and a lake and a bland border, please. And I tell you what, 4 minutes later, it came out with that.
Yeah.
Shit. 4 minutes it did that, eh? Yeah.
Why is it that sometimes though you do that and you can tell it's AI because the person that they reproduce, you just know is not quite like the original person.
Well, that's the other thing. Every time I tried to do it initially, it kept saying, I'm going to have to abandon this picture because it might infringe copyright.
Oh, so you say that? Oh, really? Mm. I didn't know they were on that. Mm. Yeah. Right. So we've got Sai saying, Del, do you think that mask you see at the end of F4 looks like Clytus from Flash Gordon? It's too shiny for me.
Have you ever seen Flash Gordon, the film?
Me? No, I know it's one film I haven't seen. I know everybody's seen Flash Gordon, but no, I've not seen that.
Right.
What's it called? Clytus.
Yeah. Right. He's sort of like a Darth Vader type character.
Oh right. Oh yeah. Yeah. I have seen clips.
He looks like Crichton. He looks like Crichton from Red Dwarf, right? But painted black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it does. And I think it's supposed to be Doctor Doom, obviously.
Yeah.
And Doctor Doom, it's a shame because Doctor Doom he's supposed to be very similar to the Man with the Iron Mask. Right? It's supposed to hide a disfigured face. That's what you have to remember about Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is full of hatred for Reed Richards because Reed Richards saw something wrong in an experiment that he said, you got to stop doing this. You don't want to do it. You're wrong with your calculations. And he said, no, I'm going to do it anyway. And the whole thing blew up in his face. And he was kicked out of university and his face was totally disfigured. And he went to the Tibetan mountains, as you do. Right? You have to go to the Tibetan mountains. Found these monks. Right? They designed him a metal armor.
Yeah.
Face and that. And he then landed in his home village of Latveria. Must be in Romania somewhere, I would have thought. And he then became Lord of Latveria, and suddenly he had all this money, and he ensued a vendetta against the Fantastic Four. Now, it always reminded me of the Man with the Iron Mask. So it's not a piece of armor like you'd see in Robin Hood or anything like that, or jousting. It's very much a flat with slit eyes where you can just about see the bloodshot eyes going through it because there's enough of a gap, and a mouth that separates at the jawline so his jaw can move up and down, and it looks menacing because he looks mostly metal. But if you do it too shiny, then it looks like somebody's giving him a silver mask and he's about to go into jousting or something as a Serapha Pendragon or something, right? It's like Lancelot having a bloody mask on. You know what I mean? It's too shiny. It's supposed to be dull. It's supposed to be dull metal.
Oh,
that's what the monks would have given him.
Yes, yeah.
It would have been put into a mold, and it would have been panel hammered, to get around his face and then put onto his face. So why is it, you wouldn't have super shiny. Christ, you'd have to have a buffing machine and stick it under there for about 3 months for it to come up as shiny as that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine somebody, can you put this under the buffer, please, for 3 months? Because I'm going to go out with this later on. I want it to look shiny. Jesus Christ. Reminds me of those machines my dad used to use when he was shining people's shoes at the shoe menders with those bristles. When it used to spin round.
Yeah.
He said, you shine the shoe up for me, and he'd put that, and he'd put it under the bristles, and it'd come away and go, oh, look at that. It's like mirror image on that. Look at that. Like somebody had done that.
Oh, yeah.
With a mask.
Yeah. Then Sai says, I think the Eurotrash presenter was called Antoine Ducan. Yeah,
Antoine Ducan.
Yeah. And then Sai says, me and my mates got kicked out of Tiffany's nightclub in the 90s because Hitman and her were there, and we kept trying to chat
Michaela Strachan. That was her name, Michaela Strachan. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a bit of a pin-up, wasn't she? I think. Yeah.
Does anybody think back of that now and think that was quite creepy that you had a grey-haired old fart with Michaela Strachan?
Well, yeah, yeah, but it was one of those things. They wouldn't have it now, would they? It does, probably because of that. And ITV had a period. Well, I don't know if I don't watch live television anymore, but their scheduling late night, I think, always was a problem. They didn't know what to stick on late night, did they? Half at time, they had all sorts.
I'll tell you what, it's 1,000 times better then than it is now. All you've got is bloody Play Joe gambling things.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched it for it. Who watches that?
Phone this number, you get free bets, and we're going to spin the wheel now.
And you're a mug
going round. You got some dolly dealer with a red dress turning around saying you can throw yourself in the next 30 seconds and put a bet up. And then it's got a disclaimer at the bottom saying, play gambling,
safely. Don't waste all your money on this crap. Sorry. Don't.
And this thing's on for about 6 hours.
Is it? Oh my God. What? Why do they do that? Haven't they got any programming?
Because that's the only advertising. That's the only advertising they can get.
Yeah, that's really bad, isn't it? It just shows you our state of.
So when somebody asked me the question, what company is not going to be around in 20 years' time? I turned around and said, Sky's not going to be around. No. Now.
And BBC won't be.
BBC will probably be around with a totally different thing than it is now.
Yeah, be very different. Did BBC have any late night things, or they just stick news on?
I think what they do is they put a montage of stuff that's coming out plus news for about 4 hours. So they have the news on, it counts down to the hour, like 1 o'clock or whatever it is. Then they'll show world news type stuff.
And then
and then I think they do an hour section of American news and an hour section on the war and an hour section.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And then in between, because the shows aren't an hour long, they're about 45 minutes. They do little montages of stuff that's coming out, like EastEnders and Man.
Okay. So they advertise their channel. Yeah.
And the iPlayer, they advertise the iPlayer an awful lot.
Yeah. Well, I am. That's the only way I can watch live TV, I suppose, is through the iPlayer. So I haven't got a connection now. I don't. There's no need. Absolutely no need for it.
But of course, Ian, you definitely have a TV license for that iPlay watching that you do, don't you?
iPlayer watching.
You have to have a TV license for iPlayer. So
I don't want. I don't watch the iPlayer, of course, do I? Really? That was it was just an expression.
Right, got you. Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't really exist. There's nothing going on. Yeah, yeah, nothing going on at all. And then we've got Cauldron of Stardust saying, how long do you think it'll be before this message gets read out? Well, when did you put that message in? You put it in at 10:03, and it's now 22, 25, which is not that long ago. So
About 20 odd minutes.
yeah, we're doing quite well.
Cheeky bastard.
Yeah, we're doing quite well.
No, hello, Cauldron of Stardust. I haven't heard from Cauldron of Stardust in a bloody long time. It's really nice. He's a nice guy. He's from the States. He's always got a cigar. He's on the go when he's in his back garden. His back garden is so big, right? He's got deer and things, right, running across it.
Wow.
Right. I mean, honestly, some of the pictures he's put up there, it's gorgeous where he is. Nice guy,
wow.
nice bloke, really nice bloke.
And he says, "Oh yeah, that was Dances with Wolves." About that film. Yeah. And then Conrad Stardust says that transporter accident Mad Magazine joke is super specific. Those are often the best jokes, the ones that only 1% of folks would get, but those who would get it would appreciate it, which is what you were saying, really.
Yeah.
About Mad Magazine.
I'd watched that. I must have watched that film a couple of times at the pictures. That magazine came out, it was literally about a month or two, I'm pretty sure, afterwards. And I kept it because it was gorgeous. The drawings were caricatures, so they were done really well by some good artists. But the jokes were just absolutely
not very good.
Just on par,
Flat.
I just like the fact it was called the USS Booby Prize, and it's got the biggest D cells, and I knew what D cells were, batteries, you see. Oh, look at that! It said it's got twice the orchestral power of the right, and of course it was all about the orchestra and the music. You see, it's like, got twice the orchestral power of the old one. Every line was a joke.
Yeah,
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. They did Jaws parodies.
Parodies. Yeah, anything that was culturally there, they would do. Yeah,
but like anything, the magazine industry died. It shrank.
Yeah.
Films are still popular, but
is Mad then finished? Did it die off? Or is it still going?
I think Mad Magazine lasted longer than most.
Oh,
but I think it did. I think it did die.
Did it go digital? It might have got some went digital, didn't they?
Yes, I think it went digital for a while.
Yeah.
And then what I'm trying to say is, I think that the company, it sold itself to the last wherever it could go to, and then it was gone.
Yeah, and that was yeah. It's a sad magazines. There still is a few there, but there's not many now, is there really? And where can you buy them from?
Well,
Smith's has gone.
W.H. Smith is going into the bloody airports.
Yeah, but that's no good to me, is it? Where am I going to get them? Actually, the only place you could get them, some magazines, is it like Tesco's or Sainsbury's? But
but they don't have magazines much.
Tesco's still had some last time I went.
They've got things like Take a Break and
they haven't got in depth, have they? But
you haven't got Carp Monthly, have you? What the hell's going on?
Well, I looked because they had this History Today, so I thought, well, they had some quality there. I thought they got History Today, but you're right. It's not the same, is it? Smith's had everything you ever wanted.
Yeah,
sad, very sad.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine it, can't you? Mum, I'm just going to go and get your morning paper. I'll be back at 7 o'clock this evening.
I'm just
got to eat through.
Yeah.
What?
Have you got any news agents that you can get anything from? Is there still any? Because your mum paper and
Believe it
stuff.
or not, I'm
Yeah.
very lucky because next door to me is a post office, and the post
Ah,
office
yeah.
is a shop,
They'll
and
have
the
things.
post office
Yeah.
shop actually has a newspaper service in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Um, so I only have to go next door, but it doesn't sell magazines. It only does take a break, and
Yeah.
it doesn't sell any
Yeah. A bit more. Yeah.
computer magazines,
Yeah.
fishing
No.
magazines,
Yeah.
comics
Yeah.
for kids, nothing like that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Does your mum like any of the magazines, or is it just paper?
No, we buy her a paper every morning.
Yeah.
She read it takes her all day to read it. She reads it 7 times, but I don't think she takes it in.
Yeah.
She's just reading
What
it. By the
what
time she
paper
gets
do you get? What do you get?
the Star,
Oh, right. So that's pretty visual, isn't it? It's not.
and the reason we get her
Oh,
that is because that used to be her favourite paper to do the crossword.
oh, really? Oh,
Only to do the crossword,
yeah.
and we're trying to encourage her to do the crossword because it'll make her
Yeah. Yeah. Brain
brain
working.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she does it every day. And the maximum that she's got so far is she's got 13 words in a box,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
isn't bad when somebody's just been diagnosed with vascular
Yeah.
dementia.
Yeah. Yeah.
That she's managed to get 13 words in,
It's a
and I
good
check
thing
them
to
the
keep
next day.
going.
She's got them right.
Yeah. It's good to keep doing that. Definitely. Well worth doing. Yeah.
Because sometimes she'll only
Yeah.
fill in 2 or 3 boxes,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then other times she'll go, "Oh, I got 13 today."
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. That's good. Um, then let's see, we've got here. I
Hang on,
don't
he's
think,
got. Yeah, I don't think. Oh, you
yeah,
haven't
that's
read
what I
that.
was just saying. Yeah, I don't think constructive criticisms, comments are bad. They can actually be helpful for content creators. I
Yeah,
think that can be true as well.
and
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is what I've always said, Cauldron. There's constructive and there's destructive, right? A
that's a good
constructive
point.
criticism could be something that goes along the lines of, "I really enjoyed that, but I tell you
But
what, the thing
yeah,
that was distracting for me was you had a blue background.
mm,
If you'd have just turned that background, it wouldn't have been so glaring on my eyes, and I might have been able to have seen
yeah,
it." A destructive criticism is like what I turned around and said, that was excruciating to watch. I had to turn it off halfway.
yeah. That's not good. Yeah,
That's destructive criticism.
yeah. It is.
Right?
Yeah, yeah,
And like I said, Frank, I don't know him too well, but he's always been around, and he's a great person, and he's been in here and all of that sort of stuff. And I'm pretty sure he just had an off moment. He had to say something. To be quite honest, if something offends, where it could be it's his most played game, it is his favorite game. He's played
yeah,
nothing but
yeah,
that game in the last 40 years. And
yeah,
then, therefore, when I actually played it, I probably did offend him.
yeah,
Everything he said was probably right
yeah,
from his point of view.
yeah,
All I know is that it was very early on in my doing
yeah.
quick 6-minute videos. The third one out, and I'm getting that. Jesus. I'm going, wow. And I must admit, it must have been because I'd spent so much time doing the picture, and because I'd literally just put it out, but wanted to do a good show. I was looking forward to the comments coming back, and like I said, I got a couple of people just dissing it, disliking it without leaving a comment, and then that one was on there, and it knocked it down further, and it just basically upset me a bit. That's all.
Yeah, no, I think that's understandable. Definitely. I mean, it's yeah, it's comments. You just did sometimes if you put a lot of work into something and it's just sort of dismissed, it can just be downhearted. But sometimes people don't mean it. It's the way they just.
That's why he's always welcome on my side of the channel. There's going to be no blocking, none of that sort of stuff. I would just endeavor to do better, but I did have to leave a comment, just purely to say it's not about how good I am at playing it, which is why I've always put. Now you're going to see some bad gameplay. I even say that. I said, right, so here we go. Now you're going to watch some really bad play. Now you're not going to be able to see anything fantastic here. So have a good laugh while I try and get around and show you what the gist of this game is about.
Yeah. So, do you know what's important is never to get upset by other people's opinion. It's like it's a channel I watch sometimes, and it looks at films and that. And he picked up one of my favorite films and said, God, this is absolute trash. This is rubbish. And he sort of threw it down on the floor. And I'm going, what? That's one of my favorite films. Flatliners. I absolutely love Flatliners, but it's rubbish. This is totally ridiculous film, which is fine. You can have that viewpoint. There's no point in getting upset. People sometimes would get really upset about things like that. But why? It's just his opinion, you know. And just because I love something, you know, don't mean anybody else is going to. But
I'm also just gonna lock the front door so my mum. I don't wake my mum up at midnight. So just bear with me.
Be back in a few minutes. Yeah, so I think he's never to take things to heart. Really, everybody's got their opinions about things, and you know. We can all disagree, and there's films that I absolutely love, and not everybody else does. It works other way as well. You know, people going on about a film, and you're thinking, "What? Why are they going on about this film? It's rubbish. It's way over the top." But you know, that's what makes it interesting. I think one of the problems of YouTube is people forget that it should be there for a lot of fun, and it is fun, and when it's not fun anymore, it loses something, you know. I mean, sometimes this happens with channels who get monetized. There's nothing. I'm not against monetization for people if they want to make money out of it, and that's good. That's fine. But some of them, you can tell what they're doing, and it is all about that, and it kind of loses the fun element because you know exactly what they're doing. You can say, oh, we've got to say subscribe at this so long in the thing. You've got to say this at this point. I've seen the videos. He's telling them how to improve the subscribers and all that. I mean, one of the criticisms of my channel would be that I don't edit it enough. But I mean, that's part of mine. I don't edit because I just sit in front of a camera and talk. And if I make mistakes, I make mistakes. But I know some people don't like that. Or they're even almost scripted, and that's not my style. But I understand that some people's style, I think it's more professional. And maybe, I don't know. I think, you know, you like a channel often because of the character. This is from my viewpoint of the person who was doing it. And sometimes people have a character, and that's what you watch, you know, rather than taking everything, you know, so seriously, you know, or people pretending that they're not serious, but it all comes down to the money they're trying to make out of it. But I can see through all that in your omelette. But I just like to see people be themselves, and if they're making money out of it, that's fine. But if people not being themselves and they're just there because they've been told to do this for making money, I think you see through it. They lose some of that genuine thing, and they keep going on about their Patreons and all that stuff. Patreons. I don't know. I don't understand all that. But if YouTube, they're making money from YouTube with that, that's fair enough. But the Patreon business, I don't know. They do all that and have membership and saying, "Oh, you're going to get an exclusive video of me picking my nose, which nobody else can see." Yeah, that's great. I really want to pay that amount of money, even if it is only a couple of quid. I'm not paying a couple of quid. Somebody picking it up, exclusive to the channel. Great, thank you. Really want that. Anyway, sorry, I've gone on there. And then Colin of Star says, I'll tell streamers that they should utilize cooldowns on sound drops, because sound drop spamming makes for an annoying stream. I don't want to watch, and I'm not alone in that sentiment. I don't quite sure. Perhaps you know what does that mean?
Yeah, I've
What's
seen.
sound drop spamming?
I
I
have
don't know
seen.
that.
You know how AI has come in, and there's people that do faces and they distort it and they put on a funny voice, and then there's all this bang whiz and noises, and you even hear canned laughter or something, or
Oh,
something that comes on and all of this sort of stuff. But I tell
oh
you
yeah.
what, the worst for it is TikTok.
Oh right.
No,
Yeah.
Twitch. If you go on Twitch, they're so about the money that they have a little ticker tape down the bottom saying you're latest subscriber and you've got to get to this point to get to your next
Oh,
level. And then there's little explosions and little
oh.
cartoon characters going across the
And
screen, and then
wanting your money.
people try and do that thing that Kenny Everett used to do with the and now we'll go over to the next presenter, and he'll press a button, it will go, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, that's it, not too
Yeah.
bad. And then but they go over the top with doorbells and doors slamming and wind noises, and that it's all that, and it's annoying.
Yeah. Oh, I've not. Fortunately, I've not
It's
seen
not
that.
a radio broadcast. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell's all
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
What am I
Yeah.
watching? Tis was, but in 2025. What am I doing? I
Yeah.
came here to listen to a chat about films.
Oh dear. So avoid all that stuff, right? I have to go, but this was as lovely as always. Delboy and Ian, you are such genuine nice people. Bye for now. Well, thank you, Sandra. I know you're not there
we
now.
try our best, and I'll tell you what, I've done as much as I can to try and give you some content, Sandra, because you're a lovely person, and you go across the main Meister stream and you come here and you chat on my blog. I mean, it's nice to have somebody that sort of like sees the medium of film, but also sees the medium of game and technology.
Yeah.
And you've got your own job and all of this sort of stuff. And you know, it must be very difficult, because I know things are an equality here and now, but for years and years and years, no girls were playing computer games. You know, it was unheard of, and here you are embracing playing games, you know, and all of this sort of stuff amongst people that are reminiscing about an era where there were no girls playing games. My sister would never play a computer game. Christ, she'd be out there playing with the Barbie dolls and things like that. You know, I'd say to her, "Do you want to come in and play Battle Tank?" She'd go, "Sod off." Oh, play that shit.
Like that. I'm sure she said that.
No, but you know, in a 1970s kiddies way.
I'm sure she said that.
You know what I mean?
Oh dear. So you could create an AI cartoon of your sister saying, "Sod off, Delboy."
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Oh dear. Right. Cauldron of Stardust says, I once watched I watched a live stream of people sound drop spamming William Wallace screaming, "Oh, freedom," over and over. I know what you mean. The streamer thought it was funny. It wasn't. It was as annoying as hell. I get you now. Yeah. I've seen those.
I mean, I think you've seen them yourself, Ian, and for some people it works, and you know, there's no naming names here. Some of them can be really, really funny, and I really like them. But they can, what they can do is they can age your channel, I think, really, really quickly, because you see the same clip over and over again.
You think they overdo it in the end? They just
and although they can be sort of like known for it, you know, this is what made them known, because they put a funny clip or something
you know,
something that was out of, say, like Monty Python, say, or something
like
over and over and over again. I mean, it wouldn't take too long for me to alienate my audience if I kept doing a sound effect that said albatross, albatross. You know, you'd piss people off, and some things just overstretch the mark. You know.
Yeah, I know people put that things. Is it 1 hour later or some time later? You get that put in every so often when there's a
Yeah,
break. That's obviously deliberately done as well, I think.
yeah,
But it's I don't mind it, but if it's all the time, if they overdo it, then it's
yeah.
not very good.
I think there's a lot of content creators that we've known that actually
Yeah,
I think do it quite well.
yeah, yeah,
I think it's actually the ones that I know the least now. You know,
yeah, yeah.
that actually I look at it and go, oh, it's cringe.
You don't.
I
You end up not wanting to watch it. You don't watch them in the
you
end if
know,
it's that bad.
so
Yeah,
I'm talking about people who I
yeah,
hardly know.
yeah. Have you?
Not
I noticed that when isn't it awful to be embarrassed watching something? Sometimes you can be really embarrassed by
yeah.
watching some people, and that's when you don't want to watch it. If you feel embarrassed by these people, I don't know why, but it is bad.
Yeah.
Simple Tibetan monks, well known for their technological advanced weapons,
Yeah.
armor crafted. Yes.
Yeah. So
That's
here they are. Look, the Tibetan monks. They're going off and doing their prayers. There's their vow of silences. The next day, they're going out to the workshop to make tanks
yeah.
and treads and things for the B-52 bombers and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
There he is. Yes, that's it. And he said, "Del, you're the best. There you are."
Well,
Yeah,
he said that because I've talked about his garden and his cigar.
yeah.
But I tell you what, he reminds me of, because I've never seen his face, but he always shows his picture of him wearing his shorts, right? You know, you can only see the bottom half of his body
Yeah.
with him on a deck chair with a cigar coming off of his fingers like this and a deer running across his garden right this. And I just go, what is this Ron Eli? Ron Eli's garden. You know, it's I keep thinking of him as being Stan Lee or something, like on a country estate somewhere.
Sai says, I can't understand the phase Freeview TV. It's not Freeview because you need a bloody TV license. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not free. Yeah.
And believe it or not, Freeview TV will not be around in about a year and a half's time.
Why? What's happening with that then?
They turn off the signal and it's going IP. So you
Oh,
go over Wi-Fi only.
oh right. Yeah.
Remember,
That's
I
how
was
I
telling
watch
you that it's
mine.
going to be really weird because the only reason we've got aerials up now is for that digital, you know, for that
Yeah.
the digital switch on that came on. It's called it's called Freely. It's going to be rebranded Freely. It's actually on most modern TVs now. It's inbuilt into your TV, but it's such a brand new system that uses a Wi-Fi signal. It's got a scrambler. So your old set-top boxes that you used to buy that you plugged into the aerial cable that allowed you to watch Freeview won't work anymore because that's
No.
got no scrambler. So basically, you couldn't even buy a set-top box for it. It has to be integrated into your TV. So
Oh. Will
they're
it have an app? If you can use it through an app.
well, they're saying that the technology can be adapted for phones, but not for TV. So you have
Yeah.
to have it built into the
Because
TV.
I
Otherwise
use
it doesn't work.
my TV. I've got all apps on it, and I'm pressing all them to get various things.
Yeah. So think of those apps. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
This app requires a piece of hardware to tangle with it to make
Also,
it work.
I'm not going to be able to do that. I don't
So
think.
you won't be able to watch, which is why they're saying Freeview will slowly be switched off. While that's happening, TVs will be replaced in people's and it will be automatically integrated in there, right? And hopefully a quarter of the country will have it already in it without them even knowing that it's in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I want my TV to last a few more years before I buy another.
There's a fantastic YouTube channel called I think it's called Andy TV.
Yeah.
He does these broadcasts on YouTube where he talks about people, the old ITV idents, you know,
Yeah.
how they used to like Anglia used to have that picture of a
Yeah.
silver
Yeah. I
horseman
remember that.
used to
Yeah.
spin
Yeah.
around, and and ATV used to be the Three Bells.
Yeah,
And it went to Central, which was a sun
yeah,
that turned into a
yeah,
white with rainbow strip
yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. He talks about the history that ITV started in the 50s and that these switched on at all different times, and that London Thames Television was the Saturday, was only broadcasting on 2 days.
That's
It was
right.
just,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was
Remember?
Friday night to Sunday at 1 a.m, and then it switched
Yeah,
back over to local.
yeah.
He
That's
talks
right.
all about the history. It's a fantastic thing to look at because
Yeah,
I couldn't remember how it all worked, but I remember as a kiddie, I wanted to watch a Saturday children's Marvel TV cartoon, right? I think it was the Fantastic Four by Hanna-Barbera, right? And it was the 70s. It was 1974, 75. And this show was over from America, but it was shown early in the morning, right? And the TV network ITV was split across different regions. You had Television South and you had Central, ATV and all of that. So I had to tune my telly into Southern TV, right, which was down south.
yeah.
Trying to pick up sort of like Dover and Eastbourne and all that, right? And
Yeah,
I was in the Midlands, right? That was near the transmitters for Birmingham and
yeah.
Coventry, and Oxford, and all of this. And when I managed to tune it in, I got a speckly picture, but I got enough so I could able to watch it. Right? At 7:35 in the morning on a Saturday. Do you remember the old tuning? You had a little plastic peg that you pulled out and you turned it around, trying to tune in your TV with numbers because it was UHF.
Yes, I think I remember that. Yeah, God.
There I was with a little plastic peg, turning this
Yeah.
around, trying to tune it in.
Yes, yeah,
On one of the other buttons that we hadn't got tuned
yeah,
in for BBC One or anything. I had to choose channel 6 or something, and I was there
because
going,
now if you buy a telly, you just put auto tune and it does it all itself.
basically that. Yeah.
It just sets it up itself without you doing it.
So I had this little plastic peg, and I was there trying to tune it in. And if the weather wasn't bad, I could pick it up. But if the weather was bad, forget it. So I was getting up early in the morning to try and watch this show.
To see all this wonderful stuff.
And this is why I've always been a person with technology, because my mum and my dad, they turned to me to put a plug on things.
Oh, right.
I was invaluable in the 80s because my dad would turn around and say, "Your mum's pulled the plug out the video recorder again and the clock's blinking." You put the clock back on, and it's driving us nuts, right? And it'd be blinking 12 o'clock like this. Blink, 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 blink. And I'd go, yeah, all right. And then my mum would go off or something on a Friday to do the bingo, right? At night, the Zetas bingo night. So, every now and again. And she'd want me to set the timer to record the Gentle Touch.
Oh,
that was on a Friday. Or Starting Up that was on BBC One or something, right? And I had to set the timer so that it would actually record for her before she got back home.
Do you remember when you used to buy electrical appliances? They never had the plug on. You had to plug it on yourself, didn't you?
Yeah. So of course I knew exactly what was live and earth.
Yeah, I didn't. I had to just follow instructions that it said in thing. But you had to do that, fiddle about, didn't you?
You passed the flex for a little hoop at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't screw that. You'd make it so it was still loose. And then you'd have the 3 prongs.
That's right. And you had to make sure the wrap around.
You push the prong slightly up, and there'd be an eyelet hole, and you'd be there going right below and screw the top and then push it down and bend it around so it went around the molding. Yeah.
We're lucky, aren't we, nowadays? We're back.
We are.
We are. It's easier now. It's just plug in and.
I'll tell you what, if a kiddie can't get their console from Argos set up on their TV in 30 minutes, then basically they're pissed off, right?
Yeah.
In the old days, you'd have to get that home, you'd have to get a plug, you'd have to
plug up.
Yeah. You'd have to plug the thing in, tune it in to one of the channels.
You have to tune it in and what region and everything.
By about if you bought it at 9 in the morning, you were lucky by 3 in the afternoon for it to have been tuned in.
It's true. Yeah.
And you'd be relying on your dad. Your dad, can't you hurry up yet? Bloody hell!
And he'd be
Outside. Why didn't you put the plug on it yet? You know what I mean?
It was. Oh dear, we got it so much better nowadays. Yeah. So don't be fooled. Not everything was good in the good old days. Nowadays, some things are much easier. Del, did you see the trailers for Tron? Airs and or is it ours? And the Odyssey at the F4 screening you went to. So what did you think of them?
I actually like the look of it's Tron Ares, I think.
Tron Ares.
I mean I actually when they announced that there was going to be a second Tron, I was in so trepidation about it. I thought, Christ, I love Tron with what is it? What was his name? Bridges. Jeff Bridges. Yeah, Jeff Bridges in it. So iconic with Disney doing all of those computer generated effects, but actually they were all hand animated. To be quite honest, it was all costumes with the photosensitive light stuff and all that sort of stuff. That I wondered that a film 25 or 30 years later, what it was going to be like, you know. And it actually, I absolutely loved it. I thought the follow up to Tron was brilliant. So I wondered, what's this one going to be like? It's so shortly. Although it's still quite some time back, it's still quite short compared to how long it was since the first Tron and the second Tron came out. I wondered what it was going to be like. And I don't even know what the story was about, but the trailer was so intriguing. It looks quite good. They've gone for very much. It looked very much of not cyberpunk, but you know what I mean. They've gone for a very smooth type of camera angle approach. You know, it's very low down pictures of the wheels with them riding up, and you see the electric bike and then going off and all of this sort of stuff, because it's got all of the traits, you know, the electric Tron bikes and all that sort of stuff. The Odyssey didn't. It's not till next year, isn't it? It's Nolan's film. I mean, they've sold out at the IMAX already. It doesn't look bad at all. In fact, I probably should be more excited about the Odyssey than I should about Tron, but actually I'm excited over Tron. Yeah. I don't know if it's because of Oppenheimer and all of that sort of stuff, but it's just a Nolan being what he is. I know it's in safe hands. Tron is one of those ones that's edgy because you don't know what you're going to get. It could be a piece of shit. It could be absolutely fantastic. Tron, the second film, not blew me away, but it surprised me to the point where I was relieved and happy. And I'm hoping the next Tron will be the same. And I think that's probably why Tron excites me more than the Odyssey at the moment. I'm excited over both, don't get me wrong.
Who's starring in the Odyssey? Have they got any big names?
Oh Christ, can't remember who it said. I don't know, you know. Mine's no point asking me that at bloody 11 o'clock at night, you stupid bastard. You can't even remember what you had for tea, you.
No, it's probably true.
Finger-eating bastard, you.
I wondered who would be in
on Saturday in the morning, you're asking me what I remember about what credits came in the Odyssey.
Well, I was just thinking, was it the usual actors that you might get nowadays? You know, it's Cillian Murphy in it or somebody like that who seems to be in everything.
I know it's got some great actors. I can't remember. Really can't remember. Mine's a blank with that.
Okay. So
I
anyhow,
I can't remember who's in Tron Ares.
Yeah. It's not the original bloke, Bruce. What's his name? box litter or whatever his name is.
Well, I told you it was Jeff Bridges, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This one. He was the guy that wrote the program, the master code, wasn't it? That he got digitized into the system, and he became the player that killed the master controller. Yeah, you've seen Tron, haven't you?
No.
Oh my God, man! Have you seen Black Hole?
Yes, yeah, Black Hole years ago. Yeah, Black Hole. Yeah,
right. Black Hole.
Yeah,
it's done around about the same time. So the special effects are sort of like they were absolutely fantastic at the time, but you look at them now and they look a bit dated.
Yeah.
Right.
I have seen a lot of clips of it.
The thing that makes me think you wouldn't like Tron is because it is based around computer games.
That's what I've always thought. I want that.
What you have to understand is that the score was done by the person who did The Shining.
Oh, right.
What's her name? She was a bloke turned into a woman. What's her name? Wendy. No. Anyway, she did the music to Bach. You know, she did the 1969 electronic Bach score. She did Shining. She did Tron.
Yeah.
Wendy Carlos. That's it. Wendy Carlos.
Yeah.
Her name was Walter.
Yeah.
But she basically, I mean, I call her she. She's still around now.
Yeah.
She went through the change in 1971, 72.
Yeah.
And she did so much music to The Shining, and Coppola cut it all out.
Oh no!
Was it that one, or was it actually? No, that might have been actually.
Apocalypse Now.
No. It might actually the music might have been cut out of. What's the one with? That's also done by. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Coppola.
No. I can't. I mean, I'm going to kick myself in a minute. You'll go. Oh, what do you mean you can't remember that bloody film? Clockwork Orange.
Oh, yeah, Clockwork Orange. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if you remember Clockwork Orange, there's all that Beethoven rave.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's good.
All of that's Wendy Carlos. Yeah. Now, it was either Clockwork Orange or it was either Shining. She did a lot of music for, and it was cut out.
Oh.
And later on, she found a lot of the tapes, and she brought it back and put onto double albums that you could only buy on her website. You couldn't get them from the movie studios. And what you have to remember is she played on Moog synthesizers that took up rooms.
Yeah.
You know, they were the older logarithms, you know, with waveforms and all of that. Every instrument had its own waveform, and she was doing orchestras, right? So Tron has got a very distinct sound system, and it sounds gorgeous. Tron, the score to Tron is gorgeous, absolutely.
Let's see what we've got here. Sai says, on the topic of magazines, do they still do top shelf readings for gentlemen?
How am I supposed to bloody know?
I don't know.
I should think that's all gone underground into the pervo shop.
Do people need
where you can get still pornographic films? But even then, you get it on the internet, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
You could probably just go to lovehoney.com.
Yeah, there's no need. The internet must have killed it, surely. It must have done.
I don't even, do you know what? I don't even know if they still do strip clubs and things anymore. No idea. You see, when COVID came along and you can't touch anybody, you weren't supposed to be able to touch a stripper anyway, right? But you knew it went on.
Yeah,
I mean, I heard of people saying, "Oh, you got to go to this one, right? She let you do this, you know, right?" I never went to one because I lived in a small town, right? If you want to go to something like that, you had to go to Coventry or Oxford or something. It's like 30 miles away, right? But just think, when COVID came along, can't touch nobody, then it should be absolutely perfectly brilliant for the strippers. But apparently, all the bloody strip clubs shut down.
Yeah, I didn't know they still did them then. I just thought they were a thing of the past. So they were still going with it.
Yeah, they were all over things like
were...
Minder and that, weren't they? There was Minder and Alvia. You know, they always had a strip club or G or the, you know, and all of that sort of stuff.
It's the sort of thing you don't hear of nowadays. Well, I've never heard people saying, "Oh, strip club," because it's not. It's something that people have grown out of.
Well, now they try to jazz it up by turning around and saying they're vaudeville or something, don't they? And they say, "Oh, it's the old burlesque. It's the old burlesque type stuff." And frilly knickers.
I thought there was any need for it really now, but obviously, and
then, now you just go on TikTok or something.
Calder of Status aside, with the content available on the World Wide Web, magazines like that just have no purpose anymore, and the internet is so specific in catering to every interest. All right. And then in Calder of Status, if you get your jollies, I love that word, from watching a woman in a lizard suit smearing peanut butter all over herself, you won't find that in a magazine. Trolleys.
I bet you there's a few YouTube places you
I bet there's some now going, hang on, what was that lizard? Oh, there we are. We'll pretend we're not looking for that.
It's what they call cosplay now.
Yeah, X-rated cosplay, I think.
Honestly, if you're a cosplayer and you now go to a comic convention or something, all you're wearing these days is body paint.
Yeah, actually, I was watching some. There's been some big comic conventions, haven't they? They were on YouTube, and I watched some of the videos. They all seem to be for people flogging whatever they were flogging. I was thinking, God, if I went along to one of them, I'd need a blooming massive bank balance. All stuff that there was flogging.
They've got what they call OnlyFans or something like this sites.
And you know, you'd get like somebody who was in a film for about 5 minutes who you'd never heard of, and they were doing signing sessions, and they'd be charging, you know, about, I don't know, 50 quid or something for signing a photograph of somebody who was only in a film for. And then if they had any big stars, they were charging a lot of money, absolute ridiculous amounts of money. But, you know, people were paying. I think they even charged you for selfies. If you went along with your own camera, took a selfie, I think they were charging you for them.
Isn't
that awful? Isn't that a real money grab?
Yeah, Kevin Smith and all of those are all in for the 60 quid photo.
Just for you, they don't have to do anything except just pose. You have to use your phone and terrible. But the internet, as you covered, that's still on about that. Where the heck is Delboy?
Oh, that's when I had to go and shut the door. Yeah.
And then I've got Mer Villa. Hello, Mer. Hi, guys. I love how you discussed about being a content creator. Oh, well, we're trying to be posh here.
When did I discuss about being a content creator?
Well, I don't know. We were discussing backgrounds and all sorts of things.
That's you, isn't it? You were talking about being it, and she's put hello guys, but actually, Ian, I really liked it when you started talking about how you started. Sod you, Delboy. Thanks.
No, she wouldn't say that. She always asks about you.
I'm joking. You know I'm doing my rant.
Yeah. She knows about you. She always asks about you.
I never pronounce it right. It's Mavilla. Lovely to see you here.
Yeah.
I hope everything's well with you. I've got nothing but hope that everything's okay with you at the moment. And long may you be around.
Yeah. And the Philippines has been experiencing some really bad weather with the typhoon
Yeah.
approaching. So just keep safe, everybody in that area. Typhoons, there's nothing you can do about them, and just hope you're okay.
Oh, by the way, have you noticed I've got Ian's brother lot in the background?
Oh, Peter. Yeah, I've noticed that. I did notice that one. And then there is.
Yeah, I wasn't gone long, was I? I was only one comment
yeah,
between two, wasn't
it? And then Cauldron of Stardust. Mainmeister's channel has gotten too large, which is awesome. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. But a crowded chat means I feel just a face in a crowd. It's an inevitability of having a lot of folks. I hope not, anyhow. And we've got Mer again saying, "Hi guys, for me, you are doing your best being a content creator. Good job." There you are. So, thank you, Mer. Thank you. You take care.
Yeah, you have take care, man. And just to go back to Cauldron's comment, a site can get too large. But the one thing I will say about Alan is he does try and keep grounded.
Yeah, I think that's what you've got to do.
He's always worried. He's always, I mean, as much as I haven't spoken to him as closely as I used to, because he's had a lot going on in his life as well as I've got going on in mine. He always gets upset when he thinks he hasn't done enough. He goes, I noticed that I've only brought out one video in the last 2 weeks and I feel really bad about it. And I'm going to be putting out this, that, the other, and I'm doing this, and all of that sort of stuff. And I can only imagine that puts pressure on a creator. I know it does me. It's why even just now when I was showing you those two little AI little logos, I put pressure on myself because now I've got to get them out. You know what I mean? People don't understand, I think, unless they're a creator themselves, that if you do something like that, then basically you are putting pressure because now there's an expectation. And that expectation is in my head. I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to be thinking it's going to be this, that, it's going to be good, it's going to have this in it. It's going to be this length in time. It's there's going to be all the splashy effects. I've shown this logo. Well, I didn't show a logo, but of course, in other people's minds, it's like, oh, I can't wait to see that Delboy shorts. And basically, when all you're doing is raising an expectation to a level where somebody will just turn and say, "Well, that was shit." I wait for that for. So you can sort of like raise yourself up to a height where you're just not going to be able to do what you want. And I think Alan does a great job at expectation level.
Right. Thanks, Mer. Anyhow, thank you. And then 20th Century Gaming, Ilard's random question. Would you rather, which screen version would you watch out of all the Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe versions?
Oh, God. Do you know what? I didn't find the 2000s Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe all that bad, but because I'm a child of a certain age, I love the BBC productions.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. I love the BBC. To me, the BBC one is just fantastic.
When you saw the three kids going through the wardrobe to Narnia, and of course, even when you got to is it Astalan? Is it? I forgot what the bloody lion's called.
The Aslan is the lion.
Aslan, that's it.
Yeah.
You'd never actually get to the point where I'll tell you what the hardest thing is. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was one of the earliest books that I read, along with The Hobbit, because I found things. I was intimidated by the Lord of the Rings. Right, look at how thick that bloody book is compared to The Hobbit. Right, The Hobbit was like 300 pages. Lord of the Rings was like 1,000. So when you got The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I remember it came in a big format size book. It wasn't a normal paperback; it was slightly larger, and that made the pages look thinner. Right. And I read that book, and it only took me a week. And this is when I was 6, 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
and it never ceased to amaze me how my brain was thinking when it said you went through this wardrobe and suddenly it started to get cold and the things that were on hangers turned into what felt like
coats, fur coats,
like
and
trees and things.
yeah,
And then when they actually got to the other side, there was a light.
yeah.
And I remember reading about it. It said this light was there, and a horse-drawn carriage came up, and this woman that was dressed as sort of like a nicey blue type thing. I was mesmerized by it all. I was going, wow, I'm going to go upstairs and have a look at our wardrobe. Right? That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to find out if a Narnia was in my room. Right? That's how excited I was. So in my head, I'd already got an image of what Narnia was. And then when the BBC production did it, I was going, well, it's not quite what my mind was thinking of. But I tell you what, that's bloody good. It ain't far off.
Yeah.
Right? When you get to the 2000s, of course, I'm well past that point. I'm now a person who could have, I mean, I could have been at the age where I could have had a kiddie and and they could have been in their teenage years and they could have been watching it with me. And I could have read the book to them as a father, reading them a bedtime story. And the special effects were like Lord of the Rings, so it was all quite nice and great. But I kept harping back to the BBC production. So I'm going to go with the BBC production from the late 70s, early 80s.
I must admit, in later years as an adult, I read all the novels, and really enjoyed them.
Oh, what? Prince Caspian?
Reading Prince Caspian, the Horse and the Boy, the last.
But I can still see the picture of Prince Caspian. It's a picture of a horse with him on the.
That's right.
With the background looking like it's quite fast going across the countryside. And it said Prince Caspian.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they,
I love the end, the last battle, which is probably one that people don't read as much. And I thought it was great. All of them are really good. You can read them as an adult and still enjoy them. I think the timeless books, they're full of imagination and magic.
It's like anything. A lot of people probably think The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one book. It's not.
No.
The restaurant at the end of the universe.
That's
there's
right.
the fish. Just because when the BBC did a production of it and when Douglas Adams did a radio play of it, he stuck them all together and made a thing called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But the restaurant at the end of the it was Peter Davison dressed up as the pig in that. Remember that? Peter Davison was the pig. You got a bit of my back. It's got really good crackling and all this sort of stuff. He was doing it as a favour for. I think I've forgotten who he was doing it as a favour to, but
of course Douglas Adams was a script editor for Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, yeah.
Though he seemed more concerned with writing his book, as you could hardly blame him, because it came out, didn't it, to prominence. And
I've always said The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of my favourite books, but it's got the best opening chapter you'll ever read in your life. If you read the first 6 pages of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you'll be laughing. It really is. And I hope when I say that, people actually go and actually try and just find a PDF of it and just look and see what I'm talking about. It really is good, right? It's a satire, right? It's a satire. Not to give too much away, but it's a narrator that's bewilderment about where paper comes from, which is from trees. Trees grow leaves. The leaves land on the ground. We turn it into paper. And the people that live in the trees, the monkeys, can't understand what all this paper nonsense is all about. But apparently all the people that live on the ground now can't get by without these. Right. And it's just ironic because what they're actually talking about is money, right? But it's so funny because it's like the monkeys are laughing at us because they turn around saying, what's all this nonsense about the leaves and all this? We got tons of them up here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just it's that has got to be one of the most brilliant opening chapters I've ever got, because it's done because in my head I've got the computer voice from the TV series,
yes. Oh,
you
that
know,
was brilliant.
with the with the guy that turns around and says it's a friendly book in pink with the words "Don't panic" on the front and all of that
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah.
They couldn't have got a better voice actor for
Oh,
that.
yeah, it
And in
was.
my head, I'm reading this about money, right? The trees
Yeah,
and the monkeys, and I'm laughing, I'm just cracking
yeah,
up.
yeah. Brilliant. So, Cauldron of Status. I'm so happy for Alan for getting popular. That means I'm less apt to watch him. But that's a good thing. I always say, if you see me less, that's good. It means you're getting popular.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So that means you being here means that we're not popular.
Yeah, we're not popular.
By the way, if you could just say which one that you'd watched, the 20th Century Gaming, for me, of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, would you watch the BBC one or would you watch the film one? Because I don't think you answered.
I think I said BBC. I'd watch
Oh,
the
you
BBC.
did what? Oh, right.
I love the BBC one. It's really good. In the that's when I think I've said to myself,
What about? Hang on. What about if I throw in the cartoon film?
oh yeah. No, I'll still go with BBC, but I do like
Yeah,
the
all right.
cartoon. I do like the cartoon, yeah. But
That
the
came out at the
big,
same. That came out
yeah,
around about the time that they did the unfinished Lord
yeah,
of the Rings. I think that Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe cartoon.
yeah. The thing is, the BBC wouldn't do that nowadays, which is a shame, really, that they don't do that kind of drama.
No,
It's a real shame because they were good at it. They were really good at that kind of thing. It's a shame. Right. Ian, yes, the 1 year later is a sound drop taken from this SpongeBob SquarePants. That's an example of a memed sound drop. Yeah, that
me a
1 year
memed a
later.
me a memed that is
Yeah,
memed memed.
I didn't know the SpongeBob SquarePants thing. I didn't know that, but it does pop up a lot. I notice, hell of a lot. Uh, you've never seen Tron? No.
I know that's
Yeah.
changing. That I'll tell you what, that's changing tomorrow for a start.
And then we've got Wendy Carlos.
Yeah, that's the one who did the
Posted.
music. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he says. And then, yep. Then I think she went from William to Wendy.
I think it was Walter. Let me have a look.
Oh. William one.
Wendy Carlos's first name, Walter. There you are.
Oh, right. He
Walter.
said, yeah, like you said, she also did Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always get the two mixed up because they're both Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and I said I think it was a Clockwork Orange, but it's not. It's The Shining. It's definitely The Shining.
It was The Shining that a lot of her music was cut out of.
But the reason I know that he's right is because she worked with him on The Shining first, and A Clockwork Orange came after, and they were still working together.
Oh, he says this is interesting. I didn't know that. He says, but it was the intro music where the car is driving towards the Overlook Hotel was left in, and that was hers.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So this is how I know that it wasn't anything personal. It's just that her music was so out there that he didn't use an awful lot of it. But then he redeemed himself because he hired her for A Clockwork Orange, and that's when you got things like Beethoven, because everything was about Beethoven in that film, wasn't it? So my favorite is Beethoven and all this, and so
right. We've got Sai saying Star Wars Theory is a massive YouTuber with millions of subscribers. Goes to the Comic Cons and sells his Star Wars lightsabers, which he makes true replica. Oh wow, they sell for hundreds of dollars. Wow.
I haven't seen that channel, but I do know of it.
Yeah. And then Cauldron of Stardust says, I was thinking of William Carlos Williams, the author.
Yeah.
And then we've got, this is the last comment now. And nighty night, guys. Cheers for cheering me up. I've had a tough couple of days. The movie chat has really helped me. Well, thank you, Si, always for joining us.
That's so upsetting for me to hear, Si, that you've had a tough couple of days. All I can hope for is from now on, those tough days have gone away, that you're going to have a fantastic weekend. Please say hello to all your friends and have a great time going to the cinema, because I know that you spend a lot of time with a lot of people that are up in the northeast, and I know that you have a great time with them. You just relax, come back, and I hope everything is so much better for you next week, buddy. You deserve to have a great time this weekend. So that's my thoughts with you this weekend for you.
Yeah, and thank you always for supporting our chat as well, Si. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who's made a contribution in the comments, and also people who've just watched us. Thank you so much. Always, wonderful to have your comments.
But hang on a minute. Hang on. There's one thing I need to say. Yeah.
And sorry, Si says, cheers, Del.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. I haven't done a rant at Cauldron of Stardust, have I? I can't go through. I can't go through life without ranting at someone. Cauldron of Stardust, what a bastard, right? He used to come in an awful lot on my channel, and then he buggered off, right? Didn't tell anybody where he was going, right? Then he joined some other person's Discord, didn't bother looking at mine. There, sod you, right? That's what he was thinking, right? Then he comes back and he starts talking on our stuff, and I'm going, oh, that's nice of you to swan back in, yeah, and hope that everybody's all over you having a little chat. Then you bugger off again, and suddenly you end up here, and you turn around and you say, I'm only here because you're not popular. Well, thanks very much, you bastard. Who gives a shit? Go out there, right? Don't need you, buddy. Thanks very much, you bastard.
He's having a good life. Thank you.
I have to do a rant.
We've got the rant in. We've got a rant. Yes, brilliant. So on that, we'll end today's stream. Thank you, Delboy, as always, and it's been great. And thank you everyone that's contributed and just watched us. We love doing this. We'll be back again next week. So just say your farewells as always.
Oh, yeah, well, I always do, mate. And it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Good night. And then we go our own, won't we, don't we? I always say salute, because Frankie Howard and up Pompeii, and because it's cool. Salute.
And all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again. Bye, everyone.
Bye.